Hey, yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast, presented by DJ City and Beat Source. And we have invaded the Sound Collective. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We have Brooklyn's beloved DJ Goldfinger.
What up, world?
Big shout out to our brother Never Forever. Rest in peace.
Word.
We have a special edition of the R.O.A.D podcast. We have Brooklyn's finest in the building. I would say 4 of Brooklyn's top DJs right now in open format. Hip-hop, R&B, Afro beats, dancehall. I would say these are the top 4 DJs in the market right now.
Leaders.
You're calling them leaders of the new school.
I'm calling them the leaders.
Leaders of the new school.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. They're representing Jersey, Long Island, Queens. We have Showcase, Flygerian, Ken Dollars, and Millhouse in the building. Wow. We got the young Brooklyn roundtable. You over here shining over here. Flygerian, got this. What is this? This is a new chain? What's going on here?
Trusted DJ. I had to wear it because I'm on the pod. Shout out to DJ Tunes.
TJ Tunes.
Yeah, WizKid official DJ.
WizKid's DJ.
I was out in Ghana. He's been passing out the chain.
Fancy.
To DJs he trusts. So you know how to Shout out to DJ Tunes or Bafia.
It's like a Rockefeller chain.
It's like a badge of honor. You know what I mean?
When did he give you in Ghana?
Yeah, it's a couple weeks ago. We went crazy in December in Ghana and ran into him 6 a.m. So we don't leave the club till 8 a.m. over there. So
yeah.
Came through Polo Beach. And he was like, "Yo, Fly, come over. I got something for you."
My man Chris Latt saw y'all guys out there. He was out there.
Shout out to Chris. Shout out to
That's
the OG.
Shout out to the
no
OG doubt.
Chris.
He definitely let me know that y'all guys are repping.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did you go to the bathroom and cry? Nah. You FaceTime moms?
Nah, I kept the road P.
I heard a lot of the parties were like going to Africa for the first time.
Yes.
This year, right? In December.
Indeed.
Because usually it was like everyday people.
Yeah.
They would do the rounds out there.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Mo, and Mo was like, yo, I see everyone coming out here.
We had the honor of bringing sold out dates for the first time to, first global event. And it's the first time in Africa we did Ghana. Shout out to Keith and Fawn, the founders of Sold Out Dates. We went out there, went crazy.
That's what's up.
Went crazy. Yeah.
It's an open market now.
Yeah.
Africa's like a legitimate open market now for y'all. That's great.
It's good to come back home. So
Yeah. And you were talking about sold out dates, and you were in like DC. You guys are doing shit at the park, right? Because we were talking about Mark Barnes, the legendary Mark Barnes.
Yeah.
The legend.
Yeah. He was the first one, I guess one of the first really major black nightclub owners.
Yeah.
On the East Coast.
Yeah.
Doing it real big.
Mm-hmm.
Like legendary with like Club Love, doing, I know Diddy parties. They were huge. Not no freak off Diddy parties, but like official, like star-studded shit.
More official than the Obama party. Come on.
That was crazy. Yeah. So
Hove popping out to that. I could only live through YouTube. I wasn't there.
Yeah, we was not outside.
I watched YouTube videos to try to imagine myself being in that, like around that.
Well, he's still doing it 2025.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because I used to DJ at the park. So for me, I was like another generation of DJs working with him. But now you're like, he's still in it with the park.
He supports Sold Out Dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like you guys are another new generation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Blessed.
That Mark Barnes is working with. That's crazy.
Very grateful.
So I got you guys all here. Everyone's been doing great things. Millhouse, we've been hearing amazing stuff from MoMA. And I see you working like 5-6 days a week in Brooklyn, doing it up. Ken Dollars, we had the pleasure of meeting you for the first time.
Playlist.
At the Playlist Retreat.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That's so far.
Yeah.
How did you get That's so hard. How did you get on Jazzy Jeff's radar?
Through Scratch Bastard, actually.
Really?
Me and him been following each other on Instagram. It was actually our first time meeting at Playlist too, me and him.
In person?
Yeah.
That's dope.
And he just asked me for my email one day. I thought I was going to be spinning the barbecue because we talked about that. And then I see Playlist in my email. I go right back to that thread like, thank you, because this has always been a dream.
Yeah, and it's definitely by referral, so that's a honor, I guess.
Truly an honor.
Especially coming from somebody from like Scratch Bastard to Jeff. That's dope.
Yeah, that was like, that was your first time in in an environment like that where you had so many like legendary DJs like that, like
casually walking around,
just casually
eating,
right?
just eating lunch in front of, like crazy experience, truly.
Yeah. And then Millhouse, you've been killing it. You've been holding it down with everyday people.
Yes, sir.
And then, but you've been doing a ton of parties out there. in Brooklyn?
I mean, I stay busy. You know,
Yeah.
bills ain't gonna pay themselves. Sneakers not gonna buy themselves. So,
Man, Nike be giving you all that shit for free, man.
Thank you.
He's on the list. He's on the list.
He is on the
He on
list.
influencer seeding list.
Yo, tell Nigel, I need them.
Need that.
shout out to Nigel. The Brick Ride Bricks.
I just saw it last
Crazy.
night.
Man.
What's up, everyone? DJ Zimmy here to tell you about the Level Up DJ conference happening at the end of April. It's 2 days and 3 nights of panel discussions, workshops, breakout groups, and parties in the city. Pioneer DJ is going to be on site with all the newest gear, going over everything with you and answering any questions that you have. We're also going to be going over marketing, production, mixing and mastering, mental health, financial literacy, and more. Big shout out to our friends at BeatSource who are also going to be on site the whole time. You can check out all the current programming at levelup4djs.com. That's level up the number 4 DJs. You can also watch the recap reel from last year to see what all the buzz is about. Any new programming we confirm that we're still working on will be added there as well. I am really excited to keep expanding this amazing community, and I hope that you will be there too.
It's funny. I would talk to Mo, and he's just like, "Yo, I'm like," he's like, you know, he's been doing the 5-hour sets, and it's getting too much, and there's so many parties, and he's like, I can't make everyday people, but he was like, he'd been talking to me like 2 years ago. He's like, I need to find a DJ that can kind of take the reins and like hold the shit down. And then slowly started becoming like Millhouse. He's killing it. Oh, he's on top of the emails. He's on top of this. He's on top of that. And you've just kind of made a really good mark for yourself with everyday people, and become like a substantial part of the whole team, right? With EP.
Yeah, I mean, I work directly with Mo, but I learn a lot from Mo, like every day, like DJ wise, but then also the business wise, working with everyday people, seeing what goes into actually putting on these productions, what Mo does on a daily, like to be prepared, and
Right.
you know, you learn a lot from Mo. You know,
What have you learned in particular that's like changed your outlook on a lot of shit?
Ooh.
Because I feel like a lot of DJs only see the world from a DJ perspective. And it's not until you like start your own party and you have to deal with venues and you see what the needs are that venues have.
On a production scale.
On an event hosting level, like bar sales, promotions. You know, because DJs, when they like complain about shit, it seems like their like worries are like substantial, but they don't really see the big picture, right? They can't see outside of themselves. Yeah.
So I would say I learned from him to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready, and then also just to be prepared, just in general. Like I tell a lot of people reach out and are like, "Oh, I want to DJ at LeBain. Have you ever been to LeBain? Do you know what goes on at LeBain? Like you just want to DJ because you see that. Like go experience these parties. Like be prepared. You know, like
that happens a lot though, right? A lot of people just want to. A lot of DJs just want to DJ.
Just want to DJ, yeah.
From they see it on IG and they're like, "Yo, I want to DJ at that party."
Yeah.
They never fucking go.
Go to the party. But then also like if you're doing something or pursuing something, have your ducks in a row. Like you don't want to piece email people. Like have your stuff together. Like that's something I learned from Mo. Like when you approach Mo with an offer, have your stuff together. Like so, I like to have my stuff together.
Nice. So it's affected you in a positive way.
Oh, for sure.
Shit.
For sure. More than
I seen something that you were doing with HBO. What was that?
Oh, so that was HBO Scene on Max. Shout out to Team Epiphany for that as well too. So and CultureCon as well. That was the kickoff to CultureCon week. CultureCon had a week of events. So that was HBO Scene and Max, CultureCon, and Team Epiphany. So
Team Epiphany is a Coltrane, right?
Yeah, Coltrane, yes.
Coltrane Curtis?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do a lot of events like for brands and a lot of marketing and stuff like that. So I work with them here and there.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So that was a kickoff. They had like a field day for the kickoff to CultureCon. So it was like kickball, like musical chairs, which was like I think that was the funnest event. Adult musical chairs.
Yeah.
Gets pretty crazy.
What is that? What is that?
I mean, it's you played musical chairs as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
with adults?
With adults.
So got to be some liquor involved.
I mean, yeah, we were day drinking a little bit, but yeah, these are grown people fighting. Like 3 people fight for one chair. So imagine how it gets.
That's funny.
So I want to talk about the Brooklyn scene that you guys are kind of leading and all the events that you're doing. What is the Brooklyn scene right now? Or what are you experiencing in the past year, and what do you think it's going to be like this year?
I see the future being really bright. I mean, I think last year was pure ascension of like the traveling parties. A lot of the traveling parties that we see now were like birthed in Brooklyn and like South House and all these different ones. So like it's been really cool to see them just travel the country, even travel the world, go to like Africa, things like that, and kind of bring a piece of that New York or like, I guess, transplant culture to like different parts of the world. I think the community is getting a lot stronger. I think DJs like us, like we're doing a lot of events together. We're organizing our own events. Like me and Ken Dollars did like a sold out party, like Lot 45, and like.
Where exactly are these parties going on at?
I think primarily Bushwick.
Okay.
So in Bushwick, there's probably like within a 5-mile radius, I think probably like 20 different clubs that you can go to that offer different vibes and experiences. To name a few, like Lot 45,
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere. Of course, you got like, if you want a bigger show, you got Brooklyn Mirage.
Silo.
One of my favorites is Silo. What else is there? You got
Erzuli.
And they all have different flavors and different options.
Yes. And just different ambiances, and like you can pick, and the best part about it is you still have that party hopping culture in that little hub in Bushwick. So you can just hop from club to club,
What are some of y'all favorite parties in Brooklyn right now in this scene?
We got South House.
South House for sure. Shout out to Tochi.
Yeah.
What is that? What do they play over there?
It is a southern. Well, started as a southern house party. He's from Tennessee. Shout out to Tochi.
Nice.
And that's pretty much what it is.
So it's all South music?
Yeah, for the most part.
Trap.
Like trap, but then he meshed it with Afrobeats and dancehall. So he has another room called Niger House because he's Nigerian.
I've heard of that.
And the brand is called Southern Yankee, so he's from the South, Yankee boy. So it's like South House versus Niger House. So he brings me along. I do Niger House, South House, and then, it's a really dope like fusion of, open format.
Yeah.
Diaspora party.
I think Bushwick Grando is a really good party too.
Yep.
They're pretty like an eclectic selection of music. They play, you can hear house music there, you can hear hip hop, dance hall, whatever it may be. They've done a lot of bangers that we've been a part of.
So basically, you're saying the Bushwick, Williamsburg area is basically leading the charge for what's going on in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, you got Mike and Soup that throw their parties, typically at Lot 45.
I feel like summertime, it's more of a thing where like a lot of people who aren't as consistent are throwing parties because we're booked. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's only a few that are like consistently throwing the parties, like South House, Bushwick Grand, sold out dates. Like you said, Mike Soup. I feel like DJs are throwing a lot of their own events now, so that's also a thing. Like we're getting a little more like autonomy instead of it just being like, okay, we're spending this night at this bar, and like, that's that.
Is that a good thing and a bad thing?
I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Because we make the party. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like to have more of say in programming the night, and instead of just like showing up, playing music, and going home. It's like grounds to build something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was like kind of a bad thing because like maybe some DJs don't all need their own party, and they don't know how to really like curate a party.
Yeah.
And not only that, they might be asking for like a ton of favors, and they don't know how to do the business aspect of it all.
100%. That's definitely happened. Yeah.
Well, how's the business being done in that area? Like, are the club owners like inclusive? How's it working?
Yeah,
out?
I think the club owners do a good job. Like, I mean, you can go so many different places in there. Like you got House of Yes, which is a really dope spot.
Yeah.
Sultan Room.
Sultan Room. Now you got Xanadu, which is like a roller rink that they convert into like a nightclub sometimes.
It's across the street from Sultan Room.
Right.
Lovejoy's.
Nice rooftop.
Shout out Ellie and Gabriella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy dance club. Yeah. I got to get Ellie Escobar back on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different clubs that you can get different vibes from. One, I think Silo does a really good job of inclusivity, with just like bringing in different kinds of parties. Like they'll do like a Jaye Afrobeat party, or they'll do a Bushwick Grand party, and then they'll do something like Descendants, which is just like straight up Afro house. And then they also make room for like people who do tech house and things like that. Even hip hop. And it's just like, it's really dope to see. So I think there's I guess a general understanding, at least there's enough clubs that understand what the culture is in that area,
Right.
To able to give us space, for us to occupy those spaces, because, the story's been for a long time that we don't have those proper spaces to enjoy ourselves or like party or do exactly what we want to do.
Right.
And
they're
they give
not
us
being
freedom.
predatory, so that's a good thing that y'all are able to throw your own parties and, reap some of the benefits from it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, me and Ken, we could do something that, say, like Lot 45, knock it out the park. We keep the door. We hit the bar minimum. We out the door. Boom.
Dope.
And that's a win,
The position that all of you are in right now, are you guys really comfortable in the position? Like, you guys have some weight behind your name where you guys can go to Lot 45 and start your own party. How is that? Has it changed? Was it different 2 years ago?
So
You know what I mean? What's happened in the last 2 years?
I feel like me, Show and Fly kind of like came into the city around the same time.
Right.
And
When would that be?
Like 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when outside like opened.
Yeah.
And before, I felt like it was kind of like you had to, protocol, like you go out, you see DJs, you meet DJs, you make those connections. But I felt like it was kind of hard to like get your own night or to get that contact with like the bar or the club.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to kind of get in through another DJ, putting you on their lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, you can send a cold email, they can check you out, see the work that you've done, and you just, like you said, it holds a little more weight now instead of just kind of like hoping that somebody would take a chance on you, because we were good back then,
Yeah. But like, what's changed? I mean, like, how did you approach? Was there certain things that you guys had to do to change individually? I kind of want to hear everyone's take on this.
Oh, for me, one of the biggest things was like when I first started DJing, I would send out wordy emails to club owners and to whatever email address was on their website, however I could get a hold of them. But I put a press kit together. I started sending out the press kit, and I started getting responses.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big change for me. Like once I started doing events, just putting together this resume for people to see, like, yo, I did this. So they might not have heard of the name, or they might have heard, but like that press kit gave it that extra like oomph, like, okay, like we can trust this guy. Let's get him in here.
What's good, everyone? This is Neek from Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast. Whether you're just discovering the R.O.A.D podcast or a day one listener, if you've been loving the content or want more, here's your chance to support the pod. Get closer to the action and unlock exclusive content by joining our Patreon. This is for loyal listeners who want early access to new episodes 3 or 4 weeks ahead, your name in the credits of every video episode, and access to our exclusive R.O.A.D edit packs. Now, for the hardcore supporters, we've got our Tier 2 R.O.A.D for Life subscription for just $10 a month. This is an all-in package. You'll get everything from Tier 1 plus a monthly bonus episode, early access to our R.O.A.D 10 and R.O.A.D Talk interviews, behind-the-scenes content, our In the Crate series, along with exclusive unreleased content. This is your chance to support the podcast and get more of what you love. Join the family today at patreon.com/R.O.A.D podcast. Check the link in our descriptions. We appreciate you. Let's keep this journey going.
I would say me grabbing a 360 camera so that I can post videos like from my sets in real time, like in real time, but also like after the fact, and just edit. See, this is like before, like the boiler room sets. It was really kind of just like me, so people can see like what I sound like, what I play. And I think people getting a chance to see without putting money in or without taking that chance, I think that kind of like gave me more opportunities to spin. Yeah. And then with time, it just adds more layer of credibility as you play, and you play well.
Yeah.
Like you said, 2021, it was me and Showcase, and Ken too, we came together, around the same time. And I think my approach was just grinding it out, like putting that pain in, DJing parties as much as I can, linking up with people like Mike, Soup, giving us a shot at their like really popping parties.
Mike Nasty?
Yeah. And I remember we started something called The Bridge. It was like, yo, Jersey come to New York to Jersey. It was me, him. It was like the Avengers, in my opinion. It was me, Show, Mike, Soup, and we started playing at Cafe Erzuli. So just doing things like that, I believe, our names became a familiar name.
Right.
So now we're playing at these clubs, and now the managers and the club owners are like, okay, cool. Now we know this person. So I noticed when I reach out, put my couple with the press kit, they were like, oh no, I remember you.
Yeah.
I started hearing that a lot, and I think, just being a familiar face and name helped,
For sure.
me able to like get my own night somewhere,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Showcase, what about you?
Yeah, just an extension of that. I feel like we definitely put that pain in. Like I think pre-pandemic from 2016 to like 2019, we were throwing our own parties in Jersey. So we had that confidence of going into New York and saying like, we still want to throw our own parties, and kind of scoping the scene. And like, I feel like me making the move to New York was like big for me when I was working at my last job, and like being able to just get a gig there or just be able to walk down the street and go to a club and see how things operate. From that point on, getting in with Mike and Sue, and then I think even before that, we threw a one-off at Shimmy Bar Shimmy.
Yeah.
And that really showed us, all right, like we finally got in, and like let's continue to build this leverage. And
We're bringing Jersey with
rhymes
us.
and rhythms.
Yeah, rhymes and rhythms. Yeah.
And like you said, we were bringing Jersey with us too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people. So we even did a party called Bottles and Bottles last week, and I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and she was like, "You guys had a lot of Jersey in there." We will shout out Jersey. It was like 50% of the room or 40% of the room. So like that's major. You know what I mean? So I think that was an advantage. You know, laying the groundwork over the bridge and then them following us.
Got it. So it's almost like Millhouse. You're talking about press kits, right? Speaking with venues, learning like how to approach them in a more professional corporate manner, right? And then Ken Dollars, you're talking about content.
Yeah, like proof
creating
of concept.
content, right? And then you're talking about presence, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of grinding it out and going and making sure you have a presence in the scene. That your name's on flyers, name's on events, and it's like you'll start building the paper later. And then you're talking about kind of showcase. You're talking about kind of doing whatever's needed, even starting your own parties and taking whatever you have, which might be a following in Jersey, and bringing them to Brooklyn or bringing them to New York. And it's like just kind of hustling. From my perspective, it sounds like a lot. Like you guys are wearing a ton of hats. I mean, me and Goldie were talking about it. Yeah, like. You guys have a ton of work. You guys have to have to be on marketing, promotions. You have to be a great DJ. You got to know how to talk to the venues. You're throwing your own events. So like, I'm kind of wondering, how is it juggling all these hats? But like, what are some of the biggest obstacles that you guys are facing right now?
Work-life balance. Being able to devote a sufficient amount of time to, I guess, family, physical health.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all relatively successful. So, like, I think mental health is something that we're okay with. Like, I think we're doing well with that. But I just think, like, keeping up with your body is, like, can sometimes be a challenge because of late nights. And then you, like, might be crashing the next morning.
Oh, y'all drink? You guys drink when you DJ?
For the most part.
A little bit.
For the most part, yeah. If I'm being honest, yeah. Like,
A little bit.
Really? I mean, I've seen you get a little saucy. No?
Not on the set, though. Maybe after the set. Maybe after the set. Not on the set.
But even being conscientious of that, like I feel like we all have more conversations about how, you know, we can tone down the drinking. Like we're in the gym, you know, Ken is in it. We're all in the gym, you know what I mean? So it's just like, just being more mindful of what we're doing. Because I think when we first came in the city, you know, we're all excited. It's like a lot going on. But I think now we're becoming more seasoned in our craft, so the conversations are definitely different. Yeah,
your ambition can kind of be like a bit blinding sometimes, where you have this, I don't know, like a tunnel vision of where you want to be in the scene or in your respective industry, and that'll kind of like, you'll kind of put other things to the side until you reach a milestone, and then once you realize you got to that milestone, it gives you a lot more clarity of like, okay, like, maybe I don't have to sacrifice all of these things to just get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest lesson I've learned, just like from the past couple of years, is really embracing the journey. Because if you really love what you do, like, and the thing about it, I feel like as a DJ, it's an evergreen career. Like, you can do this whether you're 60, 16, whatever it may be. And once you have that in mind, it's kind of like, why am I rushing? You know what I mean? Or why am I so pressed? Like, I can be efficient and be present at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So, just learning that. Like, that helped me, like, deal with a lot of the challenges of nightlife. Right?
I would agree on the work-life balance. Just especially in the summertime, that's like a different beast. We're doing like 2-3 gigs a day, you know? And like in situations like that, it's like, okay, maybe I actually won't drink today so that I can like get to my gigs and do the job properly and not slip up. There's a lot of times where, like, you know, I call it a selfish season. And I think everybody has it, not just DJs, but like my friends know. Summertime, I might not be at that birthday party.
Yep.
I might not be at that brunch because I'm working. And this is like bread and butter season.
How do you juggle the time off right when you guys are grinding through the summer?
I don't think there's a real way to, like, I don't know, like, you rest here and there when you can. You steal a nap here and there. And It's tough. It's tough, honestly, especially like 2-3 a day in the summertime. Like, yeah, beginning of the week, like use that to rest. Like maybe like Monday, Tuesday, it might be a little bit of downtime. But it is difficult. Like I'm trying to think how do I manage it? Like,
do you guys still go out and kind of like check out other places and DJs when you're off?
When we can.
Yeah, when we can. Sometimes you got to take that Friday and like sleep through the mattress. You know what I mean? Like you just got to knock out and then recharge. But yeah, like if it's when do y'all usually go visit DJs? I feel like Thursdays in between gigs.
If I got this was like a time block, like in college, if I got 3 gigs in the day, but this next
especially in Bushwick,
yeah. If I'm off and there's 3 events going on in Bushwick, and y'all 3 are DJing in Bushwick, justifies me going to. I always pull up. I'll pull up on you, I'm out the house, so it's like boom, boom, boom.
Because being present at other people's kind of keeps you out there as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it like difficult for y'all to stay up to date with like music and remixes and edits and like different genres? Like I find myself like I'll, with open format, I'll start like catching up on tech house or dance music or electronic music. I'll get backed up and I'll be like, oh shit, the new reggaeton, I'm not on top of that shit.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh shit, like I gotta get my edits. And I'm like, wait, is there any new R&B? I find myself like I was just talking. We had DJ Cash from Atlanta.
Yeah.
From Bomba Tuesdays. He was just on the podcast.
Nice.
But he said something that really resonated with me was like you kind of gotta pick a lane and focus on it. Like I feel like I'm starting to feel that way. I've been feeling that way like for the past 3 or 4 years, where I feel like each genre specifically is becoming its own open format. Where it's like Latin music, you have to know like all kinds. You have to know dembow, baile funk. You have to know reggaeton. You have to know banda on the West Coast. You have to know salsa merengue. It's not like this like surface level area of like music. And Afro beats, I'm a piano. There's no like real surface level. Because otherwise we only just playing the same fucking songs that crossed over. And with hip hop, it's almost the same thing. Like the East and West Coast has like all of these deep cuts. So you go to like Cali, the Bay, and LA, it's completely different when you go to Philly or wherever. And so, or if you go down south, and even
Jersey,
and even with dance music, it's like it's like there's
so much to keep up with.
There's tech house, there's techno, there's all kinds of shit to keep up with. And for me to do open format and to keep up with everything, and even as a DJ that travels to different regions, it's like almost daunting, because I'm like, holy shit, like, wait, they want reggaeton, house, and hip hop, and pop, and I have to be like proficient
on top of it,
and I'm in a different city, so that city, like different songs are gonna hit in that city. So like I've never been more overwhelmed than I am now, because every genre is so specific, and it's like it's its own kind of open format world.
I think that's something I realized within the past. I mean, coming to New York within the past like 4 years, I'm like, what are my strong suits, right? What do I enjoy playing? I think I really wanted to vow to myself that, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to be in this space. I want to own things. I want to have ownership in what I do in music. The only way I feel I can get to that point is if I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing. I'm enjoying the music that I'm playing. So I'm like, I love Afro beats. Always been embedded in that culture. I grew up in a very Nigerian household. But I also have older siblings who, grew up on the state properties, like you said earlier, and on the neo souls and R&B. So that's what makes me. I feel like that's what makes me, right? Afrobeats, R&B. And when you think about Afrobeats, it's a culmination of those things too. The dance hall, the R&B, right? So I was like, I'm going to really dive into the Afrobeat scene, like, head first. I was always in it, but I dibbled and dabbled on so many things, like you said, the aforementioned things you mentioned, all those genres. I'm like, that's my strong suit. So created the Jai event. And I think your question was, does it get challenging trying to like...
Well, I feel like I'm exhausted.
Right.
Even when I'm going through music.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm, I talk with you about music organization all the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't need to download music. You don't need to download more music. You need to just like organize
what
you have.
I agree.
Because you become hoarders. Like we hoard a lot of music.
But I do that a lot. I download so much fucking music, and it's.
But then I find out about edits, and then I need that.
I know. I mean,
you know,
I don't
it's
think
another facet of your arsenal that sometimes you just have to.
Yeah, because it's like
it.
you see the boiler room, and then like to me that's another world, and it's like, do I really need to like get these boiler room edits and like coordinate them through my sets? And I try to keep up with some of the shit that I like.
I do the top line edits, but
yeah.
I know that it's just not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've realized that I adapt with the times, I evolve, but it does get tough if I'm. We have an R&B party too now, so like I'm staying on top of the R&B.
Bottles and ballads.
Ballads and bottles.
Oh, what is it?
Ballads and bottles.
Oh, I said bottles and ballads.
Yeah, you're not the first one, but
Okay.
the ballads come first, then the bottles.
I appreciate you correcting me.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of that.
It's a lot of R&B though.
Yeah.
You got to stay on top of it. So how can I stay on top of everything else and run the party? We're dealing with the business side of things.
But is it mostly throwback?
It's old and new.
Yeah.
And we just weave it together.
Yep.
We have like certain segments where like, you can hear Leon Thomas, Party Next Door, Carl Thomas, Tevin Campbell,
Whitney Houston,
Adele. We played Adele the other night. Like all these different things. So it's an amalgamation of all anything that has a sing to, like you can sing to.
See, that's a bold move because I feel like there's so many R&B parties. The last thing I would do would be to start another R&B party.
Yeah. This is our take on what an R&B party should look and feel like.
I could be. Tell me if my take is wrong. When I see recap videos, I haven't been to Ballads and Bottles. That's correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to Ballads and Bottles yet. But from what I see from the recap videos and it almost seems more like a karaoke party.
Yeah, because we got the motherfuckers singing.
Right? Yeah.
But it's not a karaoke party. It's actually a party for like lovers. Like people be in there like
who really appreciate
the music, and like we can go. I think I played what's his name again? Sir, right? Yeah, Sir. There's a song called "You Can't Save Me," and it was like a kind of a B-side song on his one of his albums, and people are just going crazy to it. And then I'm like, wow, like we really don't have to play "Can We Talk" in here. Like it's like
yeah. I was just about to say, how do you stop from being the cliche R&B party?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think what we're attacking is like little pockets and niche, like kind of activated the nostalgia, but also like, damn, I really wanted to hear this new Leon Thomas in the club, and you played
that
it.
Shit bumps.
Thank you so much. Like it's a great balance.
You bring it in together. We're not saying don't play the joints that the average person may not know a B-side of this album, but they're gonna get put on that night.
Yeah.
And to add to your point about the last thing you want to see is another R&B party. Like the thing about our R&B party, what you'll see as we progress is like we don't want to.
I didn't mean any offense by that.
No, I know. I get it because that's.
No, it's a fair sentiment though.
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
No,
I think it's like there was a pocket of or a type of R&B party that we wanted to do. We don't want to be like. We don't want to scale this up to like a concert and all these different things. We want it to be niche. We want it to be intimate and like keep it that way because that's like that feeling that we're gonna cultivate, especially in the venue. Like that's another venue I want to talk about. Jolene Sound Room. It's like a great venue in Brooklyn right now. That's like our resident. That's our home for the party. And just to see how that's gonna evolve, like you'll see what I mean, but. It's our take on what the R&B.
Let's run the clip, man. You gotta run the clip.
Yeah, drop that motherfucking clip.
Hey, yo, what's good? This is the R.O.A.D podcast, Reflections of a DJ. We're here in New York City, and we have invaded the Sound Collective. Now, I want to explain what the Sound Collective is. I got my man Lefty from the Sound Collective here. Lefty, thank you for having us and hosting this beautiful studio for us. Exactly what is the Sound Collective here in New York?
Modern, state-of-the-art facility with tons of production gear. And one side of it is you can be a member and you can come here and pay monthly to use the rooms and the gear and sign out time and our space. We have a state-of-the-art studio. We have all these production stations, DJ stations, instrument practicing rooms and such like that.
And you also teach. You have classes and sessions, right?
We have intensive programs, short-term programs that people can come and take Saturday classes on DJing, production.
There's like kind of a community building within where there's like DJs, producers, musicians.
Up and coming producers, people honing their craft and learning, and DJs and all these things. And they come here and practice, and we have all the new gear, so they come in and check that out and get familiar. And a lot of DJs will come in from out of town, be like, let me get a day pass so I can just get a refresh on the 3000s and the V10.
And what's great is that a lot of our guests, everyone from like Clark Kent to the technician to like Camilo, they come in here and they're just like, holy shit.
You want to play with all the gear, man? Yeah.
I didn't even realize this, but you guys have like studio spaces where people can do live streams and they can do their Twitch streams.
Yep. We got a whole green screen set up already, multicam, full on switcher. Like, we also do a lot of events here. We're bringing a lot of outside talent, organizations. We got a big event coming up with DJ City, Beat Source, and Serato.
That's part of our family.
Yeah. We did a big one last year with them. We got another one coming up.
For our listeners, is there any way we could hook them up with a deal, or, you know, like if they put in a R.O.A.D podcast code?
Yeah, tell me about it. What else do you have envisioned for this deal? It sounds like we're well on our way. Why don't you tell them?
You're working with us where they can type in a code for like R.O.A.D.
Yep.
And they'll get a month free, right?
Yeah, on our online platform. We have a whole online platform with like masterclass style education.
Nice.
Different categories and everything, instruments, drums. And then we have these things that we're launching right now called Pro Paths. So you can choose, like if you're a producer, you can take the Ableton Pro Path, the Logic Pro Path, Serato Studio. Goes through a wide variety of knowledge besides just stuff in that skill set and discipline.
So our R.O.A.D listeners, if you're in New York, you can check out their facility. You can do a day pass, a week pass, a monthly pass. You can check out their site. You have access to all the education online.
Soundcollective.com. We also have a YouTube channel that has some of our content from the educational courses, and all of our events are live streamed and put up there.
I hope we can come back here and use your facilities again.
Looking forward to it.
Shout to Lefty and the Sound Collective. Thank you so much. It's almost like 10 years ago when people were tired of hearing like the cliche club hits, and they wanted to hear like B-side Drake shit. It's kind of like that where and then a lot of the newer R&B isn't getting showcased at all. There isn't really a platform for that. But there's a ton of fucking new R&B out there.
And we playing that. We playing that.
Like I played Pipe Down by Drake.
Yeah.
Like that's a song that you might not hear outside, but they went crazy to that. They went crazy to that last.
But do you agree that there is an oversaturation of R&B parties in Brooklyn or in general?
Just in general, I think
everybody loves R&B though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I won't say oversaturation.
But isn't it getting like a little formulaic? It's getting a little formulaic, a little bit.
Hey, I'm not the...
No, I disagree. I disagree.
You're not?
I disagree.
You don't think so?
I feel like, well, how would you feel about R&B and ribs? Like, that's a whole different concept.
I think it's a West Coast. I think it's a West Coast like R&B party.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there were other R&B parties, but I think when you add that Bay Area element to it, I think it's very different.
Unique to us.
Exactly.
I'm talking about the cliche R&B parties where it's like the ones that get captured on Instagram or whatever, like you get those moments. It's like, how did you get here? And, can we talk?
Right.
Whitney Houston. And then it's like, what else did you play?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll show you. We got content from this one, so you'll see.
I think what you guys did was smart, like training your crowd and building expectations for your crowd, because like I do a lot of R&B parties, and by the end of the night they're asking to hear like reggae or dancehall or something. It's like you came to an R&B party, and then if I play another genre, then it's going to seem like a bait and switch to the people that came for the R&B.
Right.
So I find it more and more difficult to do genre-specific parties, especially like R&B, because I feel like in Brooklyn, yes, people get restless if they're there 5-6 hours. By the end of the night, they kind of want to hear something else. So like I try to incorporate other things in it. I may play like something dancehall that talks about like love or something, like, or I may play Cash Cobain because it's sexy drill. And like but I won't stay there too long. I go in and out just to like break the monotony a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's to go off of that. It's like for us, it's more than the music. Like the actual behavior of the crowd, like how we the energy that we want to instill in the audience when they're there. We bang the idea of love and like community in their heads on the microphone. Like at a certain point in time, we started a tradition now where, like, probably around like that 12 o'clock time period, we stop the music and we make a toast. And we like welcome everybody in. I say, meet somebody new tonight, give somebody a hug, give somebody a kiss, blah, blah, blah. Like, and really just instill that idea of like, everybody here, we cool now, we family now. You know what I mean? So that's something that reflects in the reception of the music. You know what I mean? People believe in the concept now, you know?
How long did it take you guys to put like the idea of this party and then like execute it? You know?
Interesting.
Yeah. Because like how many parties do each of you guys have? How many parties do y'all have? Like Millhouse, I feel like you work so much, you don't have your own party.
Yeah, I'm working on that. Something's coming soon.
You want to have your own party though.
It's already being planned. It's just a matter of
location and everything.
Location, everything. So how long? What is the thought process behind this? Like, how long does this take for you guys to think of like, yo, this is missing. I think I could do this best, and then like, who would I partner up with? What's the venue? And then like, oh, at a certain time we should do a toast. Like, where do these ideas come up for the event?
All right, so
specifically like ballads and bottles. Like,
we were blessed we didn't know it was such a thing, because we were just doing it at the time. But when we were in college, we never really worked with a promoter. We always built our own parties since undergrad, and it became a blessing for us later on in life. But we actually started Battles and Bottles in college in 2017. And we would get like a venue. I think it was like Loft 9.
Loft
9.
Shout out Dark Kent.
Yeah. And we created our own R&B party. Yeah. And it's funny, because we had Carla Rossi wine. This is when Insecure was going crazy. Carla Rossi, open bar, and Hennessy.
Wow.
Bought a bunch of bottles, got our venue, and it was just R&B for the whole night. And we were very ahead of our time.
We was wearing suits.
We were wearing suits. We did a photo shoot, and we had suits. Like, that's how intentional we were with our branding.
Yeah.
And then, funny, we had Hennessy.
So you guys had like what? You guys are having meetings? You guys are together?
No, we were just in the dorm.
Yeah, we roommates.
We were roommates.
Yeah, okay.
We were just in the dorm just shooting the shit. And you know, it went well, but we put it on the shelf for some years, and then
just being outside. I think one of the things I got to give credit to is Spencer from Baby Girl. Definitely like just how he does his party down in Miami at Koyo. And then going to Record Room, Moochie and Supply, just like really just gave us that kind of seeing how people were responding to them playing on vinyl, just playing throwback R&B. Like, it was very inspiring. And I was just like, you know what, man? Like, we need to bring that shit back. And we tapped in with a creative agency called Public Matter, and they revamped the whole brand. They gave us this like new revived look, and we posted that flyer. We got the venue. We were like, if we're going to do it, we can't just do it anywhere. We can't do it at just the club that you go to all the time. So we were intentional about picking Jolene for the hi-fi sound system, and just like the all-wood interior, the unique lighting system. And like, we put the flyer out, and it was just very well received. And in our first event, you know, we brought out over 300 people. And the reception was like, wow, y'all, you know, this is amazing. Like, y'all got to do it again. And then we dropped it again in November.
Yep.
And, you know, like that one got even crazier. People were like, all right, y'all, I think y'all got something here. We got postponed to December because there was a fire at the venue. And then this last weekend was definitely our best one yet. We sold out.
Days before the event.
Yeah. And like, you know, our follower count jumped from like 5-something to 1,000. It was just like, okay, like, this is like, we got something here. And I'm just like, we're just going to let time tell, but we have great plans for the party.
Ken, what's the process for you when you're creating your own parties?
So I'm a part of a few parties.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just me putting it together.
That's such an odd thing, right? Like, when I was coming up, we weren't like doing multiple parties and like partnering up and hosting multiple parties.
Yeah, man, you guys
like,
are amazing.
You guys are like almost like kind of like a new
Moguls.
generation influenced by like MoMA, Mike Nasty, and all these other
Moguls.
DJs. Yeah. It's like mini moguls. Yeah.
There's power in it.
Yeah.
So wait, so how many parties are you a part of right now?
So I'm a part of GalaFest. This is a women empowerment party that takes place in Brooklyn. Like, you know, like Manifest, but GalaFest.
So wait, is it all like women DJs?
Yeah.
That's
We
pretty
have
hot.
another resident DJ. Shout out to Kev, Gajin. But he'll either open or close. We prioritize primetime sets for the women DJs. I'm also part of it's a party / like show or game called Samples and Friends.
Fire.
Hey, I heard about that.
You should come. You should
That's
come to a
dope.
show.
I heard it. Wait, can you explain that a little bit?
Samples and Friends. So we'll play the original song, and you have to guess the sample. song that samples that.
It's like a game show.
Got the buzzer though. You got like
It gets really intense, like really intense.
I've seen
clips of that shit.
That shit looks so fun.
When did you start that party?
So that was 2 years ago. The first one. It started out the founder, Kev. He was just doing it on Instagram, and then he reached out to me, reached out to the host, the comedian, and was kind of like, okay, I want to do this and bring this to real life. He had it at Hotel RL. This is like, I think it's on Broadway, same street as Rizzoli, and it was well received. And from there, he kind of just asked like, okay, I want you guys to be like a part of this. Like, let's continue to build this. And just from like having the clips on social media, a lot of times producers like Ninth Wonder shared a clip from Basquiat's Bottle, rest in peace, another venue, I forgot about that one. Like there's been lots more traction, so I'm looking to get it in more cities, but Brooklyn, New York City is definitely like where home is. We're about to do SOBs next month.
I'll come to that.
Yeah, February 8th.
February 8th?
Dope.
Yeah, and like we'll play samples. We might give a couple hints before with the opening sets, but the game is really like where it goes down. We'll do like 3 rounds, best out of 3. Winner wins some merch.
But you'll play music in between and all other stuff.
Yeah, and we'll play samples because I feel like there's so many samples, not everyone's going to know, We try to keep it like...
So you're educating and you're entertaining.
Exactly.
That's dope.
How did that idea come up? Like, who was in the group? Who was in the room when this started?
So, I mean, Kev, he was doing it on the socials, so like the idea to bring it to real life because people are playing, if you're seeing interactions on like the stories and the votes and who's actually like, tapping in.
So it just started with like Instagram stories?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then it was like, okay, like let's bring this to the physical, let's bring this to a space because there are people who know their samples and we want to test them out.
So clever.
Yeah, that is.
It's really clever.
That's too far.
So
it's interactive too.
Yeah. How long has been, was it GalaFest?
GalaFest.
Yeah. How long has that been around?
GalaFest started also in 2021. Wow. It started out as like a free party and then we had someone promote it on TikTok. It went up, and then now we've kind of just been doing it. What
was the intention to start a party like that? Did you feel like there wasn't any venues or there wasn't a market that was supporting like women DJs that you guys had to create your own party?
Not necessarily women DJs just for that, but more so a space for like women of the diaspora because we play mostly like Caribbean music, like dancehall, soca, Afro beats. So with that like space for with there being space for that, it was like, okay, let's run with this because there's women who want to go out, they want to feel safe, they want to be prioritized. We know like women bring the men to the parties, but to brand it as something where like this is for us.
So that was the thought. Who was in the conversation? Where did it start?
Me, Sponge, shout out to Sponge, and Gaijin. We're like the collective. And when we play together, because we're all DJs, we call ourselves GalaFest Sound. So that's dope. Yeah. We were inspired by Everyday People. You know how like Everyday People's on the lineup and you know who's there? Yeah, GalaFest Sound. But yeah, it was like we just saw that there was like a Caribbean scene or a scene of New Yorkers and people who enjoy Caribbean music, specifically women, and we wanted to create that space for them to feel safe, rock out, and
But wait, like I feel like isn't there a ton of like Caribbean dance hall parties in Brooklyn or not really?
Yes. Now, I don't want to say the women are prioritized, but like it'd be a sausage fest in there.
Talk about it.
The men show up, the dancers, they be there. But again, like when I'm in a space and there's like one too many mandem, I'm like, I'm not going to be my full self. Yeah.
Really? I never thought.
That's why it worked.
Yeah. That's crazy. So you all were like, we need to create this party, have a safe, like you said, have a safe space for women. And that started 2021.
Yeah, and also keeping like dancehall culture alive too.
Right.
Because we talk about like the transplant thing and how like I think it's fine that New York is a melting pot and continues to be a melting pot, but we definitely want to like keep the sound that we grew up with alive.
Do you feel like Brooklyn's losing or New York's losing the New York sound a little bit? Like
no,
in the scene? So
I feel like just like Millhouse, I'm booked a lot and I play a lot of different pockets of nightlife. Right. So there's the New York native scene. There's like the scene of people who I know moved here. There's the scene.
The transplant.
Yeah, the transplant scene. There's the queer scene.
How long is a motherfucker called a transplant? Like how long?
You're always a transplant.
I seen a video that said if you weren't born in New York, then
you're always a transplant.
Was that Subway talk?
Yeah. It's like,
I don't think that's true.
It's true, man.
It's real cake.
I'm a hater. I'm from New York, born and raised.
But you know, the staple is 7 years. If you've lived in New York more than 7 years.
Who made that
rule? That's always been there.
Like, hey, yo, mind your business, bro.
Nah.
Wait, you from New York, right? You from New York, right?
I'm from New York.
Yeah.
He's not from New York now.
I wasn't born in New York.
Oh.
See?
But no. But I literally listen.
Let him cook.
Listen. I came here when I was like maybe like 10 months old.
Too long.
Too long. See?
All right, that's fair.
I was born in Hawaii. But my mom's like, came with me to New York. So I wasn't born, but I was definitely raised in New York. But I don't really care if a motherfucker says I'm a transplant, which is ridiculous.
If he came here before a year old, he's definitely like a New York.
That's debatable. That's
crazy.
That's debatable.
Ever since I was growing up, it was like 7 years. If you've been in New York 7 years, you're a New Yorker. That's how it's been. I don't know if it changed.
But it may also matter what 7 years, like, because 7 years in elementary school and then you move out of New York again. I don't think you're a New Yorker.
It's like, tricky, bro.
Yeah, like
it's tricky.
Wait, someone said to me, because I've been in Vegas like over 15 years. Mm-hmm. So they were like, you're not really a New Yorker because you basically a West Coast dude right now because you've been in Vegas and the West Coast for 15 years. And I was trying to explain to them, I'm like, look, I spent like the first 28 years of my life in New York. So there's things that are embedded in me, like from New York, that like I cannot change. I can't even like change. It's like a part of who I am.
Yeah.
And it's just like, even if I'm on the West Coast, I feel like a New Yorker on the West Coast, even after 15 years. I mean, I don't mind. I love the West Coast.
See, we not doing that. You can't come over to us like, yo, I've been here 15. Oh, welcome to the New York family. Nah, none of that over here.
What do you mean?
Keep that in Vegas. 15 years and we'll accept you.
Don't you have like a brand?
I'm here. What are you talking about?
No, I'm not saying you specific. I'm not saying you specifically.
I'm talking heavy.
Like
I'm keeping.
We're not as welcoming here. So like 15 years, that's nice.
See, that's why we come in here and say that's what we from Jersey. We stand on that shit.
See, okay.
Always.
See how they talking about y'all?
Okay.
So I'm from Hawaii.
Congrats on 15. Keep going.
Don't you got like a brand like keeping New York everywhere? Or something like that?
So like when we in Vegas, like when I was there, like my second year, I saved up all this dough. Everyone was like, "Yo, buy a crib," and I was like, "I don't want to." Everyone that I knew that bought a crib was like, they bought this like 4-bedroom house, and they ended up like they're like single, and so like they just like furnishing empty rooms. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I gonna do with like a 4-bedroom house? And then all of a sudden, like, fucking a pipe burst or like the fucking AC unit, and they're dropping. Every time I talk to them, like, oh man, I had to drop 5K, 7K, 8K. I'm like, yo, fuck all that. And I opened the store, and it was it was keeping New York everywhere.
Yeah, you used to do the Fiends hoodies when I was working with Boss. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, you were working with Boss, right?
Because New was on the bottom of the hoodies at first.
Right. So this is the thing, is that they came to me because they had a crew called the Super Mook and Fiends.
Yeah, still a part of that crew. We're still going.
Yeah, but I told them, they showed me the logo, and I was like, yo, this logo's dope, but this is too many words. And I said, I think you should just do Fiends. And he was like, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. And then I was like, I showed him designs, and he's like, oh, that's so different. I don't know if we're going to fuck with it. And I just told my design team, I'm like, yo, let's just make this shit. And then, let's just make it. And then I'm going to go to New York, and I'm just going to give them the shit, and let's see what happens or something. Mm. And I just gave them a bunch of beanies, hats, and like a hoodie or some shit. And then they were like, yo, everyone loves this shit.
That's crazy.
Can you make more? And I was just like, yeah. I don't think I made a dime from Fiends at all. Like I just did it because I love Mo and I love Boss. It's like family. So like and they just ran with the brand and everything.
Yeah, it's still,
and they doing great. Yeah,
everything's still
they're
going
doing good
to
shit. Shout out to Boss.
You guys came up together, like you started with these guys, right?
So you was rapping?
Well, I wish I could rap.
Spit a hot 16.
But I actually I grew up with Ebe. I knew Ebe first, and then freshman year I went to Hampton University and I met Boss.
Okay.
So Boss didn't go to Hampton after freshman year, but then we stayed in touch, and then that's when he started rapping, and then he introduced me to Mo. That's when he brought me to Everyday People, and that's when Everyday People was going on at the DL.
Gotcha.
So that was the first time I've been to the DL. Nobody knew about the DL. It was just whole secret. There was a pool in the middle of it and everything, and then he brought me to Mo, and from there, me and Mo stayed in touch, and like I've been close with them and their whole family.
That's one of the first like day parties in New York, in Manhattan.
They used to actually have food. Like they used to actually
people
have like
would eat breakfast, like have like steak and eggs in the first floor, and then the second floor was like some like VIP room or
it's like a little it's like a secondary room,
like 150 person nightclub.
Yeah,
and then the top floor was just
wow,
was amazing, like glass roof.
Yeah,
and Everyday People like. It used to get so crazy. I thought like the floors would cave in.
Yeah, when Mo would play certain songs, you would feel the floor
literally shake. That soca set.
Yeah,
we have to hold his laptop because the ground was shaking so much that the laptop stand would be like going crazy, and then someone would have to hold his laptop and keep it still. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. Wait, what'd you do for the crew? You were just down with the crew?
Well, I was part management for Boss.
Okay.
So like, I still
Derek.
Big D. Shout out. Pause.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Why? Shout to Big D. Shout to Big D.
Oh, I know that.
Shout to Big D.
Nah, but
why?
Shout to Derek.
Yeah. I still work with the team. I mean, I do some of Boss's sets, like when his shout out to Night Train when
Night Train,
when Night Train's not available. I do some of Boss's sets. Like December, we did something with Aaron Judge here in New York, so like I did that set. First time I went to South Africa was with Boss. I went to Cape Town and Joburg. He did a festival out there. I DJ'd his 2 shows, and I DJ'd out there as well too. So like, yeah, that's family.
So you've always been a DJ or no?
No, I didn't start DJing until 7 years ago.
So what got you into DJing then?
School.
Yeah. Well, in college, I used to play music off of like my iPod and stuff like that. People always used to tell me like, yo, DJ. I was always musically inclined. Like I had a hard drive back then and all that stuff with a bunch of music. I used to burn CDs and sell CDs in high school to buy sneakers. So I used to throw parties back in the day, like if we want to call it that, like little backyard parties and stuff like that. And we needed like opening DJs and stuff like that. So my friends were like, yo, just learn how to do it. You can open and close or whatever, like just to save the budget. That and going to Everyday People, seeing MoMA control the crowd and everything. I was like, whoa, like I can really like do this. So it started as a hobby, and then I started getting better, and I started getting looks and
more sneakers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When the sneakers show up at your doorstep, you're like, okay, I'm doing something right. But yeah, it basically started with me just trying to do opening sets for my friends at parties and stuff like that, and just from going to Everyday People, seeing MoMA DJ, like you said, when the floor shook, and just seeing him control the crowd. And he doesn't even talk on the mic. Like he may say 1 or 2 things, but just him just controlling the crowd. And like knowing what songs to play and like knowing what buttons to push. Yeah, it was just like, wow, like yo, he's literally rocking 500 to 1,000 people just like chilling, like, you know. So he actually ended up teaching me how to DJ a couple of years later, and then
Mo did?
Yeah, Mo told me.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I caught Mo right before he started traveling like all over the world. I think he was still at the engineering firm.
Now this is on vinyl?
No. So the first time I actually learned, Mo sat me down with a notepad, no equipment, and he taught me how to count beats and bars.
Right.
That's smart.
It's really important.
Yeah. He taught me like the structure of a song. He taught me how to count beats and bars. And he said, yo, if you're really serious about this, go get equipment, practice, and then come back to me. So then I left, I bought a controller, and then I was in my apartment up till 3-4 in the morning every day.
But you had the formula because of the bars and knowing how.
But I mean, one day it just clicked. It took like a month or so because I'm watching YouTube videos trying to see like. But then one day it clicked.
Yeah.
Like I was up like 3 o'clock and I'm like, oh shit, like this is how it's done.
Makes
like,
sense. Right?
Yeah, like it started to make sense.
I really suggest like anyone who's interested in DJing, I would suggest doing production first, especially if you're in like high school or like college. I think the production is really important because not only do you learn like kind of like 4 bars, 8 bars, like how to structure a song, but you also like start listening to like drum patterns. You also start learning about BPM, and more importantly, you start learning about like EQing and like sound levels and multi-tracks. So when you start DJing, you can like start putting all these like production like tools to your DJing. So
I don't really agree with that though.
I agree. Well, this is I say this because there's a lot of DJs that don't know like how to position their gains. They don't know how to like use the bass, treble, mids properly.
I think the most important thing is to listen to a lot of music. I think you get more familiar with listening to different textures from different artists. That will inform you more.
That's definitely an important part, but you also hear the music differently when you have a production ear. When you have a producer's ear, you hear like all the separations. You're like listening to the guitars. You're seeing what the drum patterns are, and then you listen to a song like 20 times because the first 5 times you listen to the drum. Second, next 5 times.
I think you just do that if you just listen to a lot of music.
But I think no, it's different when you have a producer ear. When you start understanding like things from a production level, it becomes a lot easier. You get over that hump.
I think the joy of hearing different sounds and different approaches should hit you first. It should inform how you feel about the music first before you start to want to make music.
No, it's 2 different approaches. I see what y'all saying.
You get what I'm saying?
But yeah. I think one leads to the other. Obviously, you're not going to get into music production if you don't already feel and hear those sounds. So you're definitely like stage 1.
Yeah,
you have to love the music. You have to feel it. You got to like
say what it says. What translate it
right.
How you hear it. You know what I mean?
And that's what to me initializes the like curiosity, and then you start breaking down the music and learning like structure and everything, and then being like, oh my god, like there's violins, there's guitars, there's electric guitars, there's bass, there's like background vocals, there's like and the frequency is also like, wow, this is like the violins are on the left. But like the horns are on the right, and everything's separated perfectly. And from a production standpoint, from a producer's ear, it helps to start that way.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. It's like you come up listening. I mean, my generation is probably different because everyone wants to like every DJ was an amazing producer.
Okay,
I feel like
I came from a retail background, so I'm record store. So my thing is more the joy of finding out how something sounds, and not having any expectations on it. Yeah, just being like, hearing how a house and what it feels to you. You know what I mean? Just discovering stuff. So maybe we're both right.
No, definitely both right. I also think like your generation was before mine, so there was a separation between the DJ and the producer a little bit more.
It totally was.
You're right. Whereas me, it was like hand in hand. It was like Pete Rock, Premier,
right?
Like all these scratch. Like everyone had production, they had hands in it. So it's like, I want to.
My generation is more so they became DJs first, right? And then they eventually informed themselves into being producers.
Yeah, and then without you, there would have been not like my influence. But then there's like I think a complete. Maybe I don't know if there was a complete separation, but I think there was a separation between DJs and production, more so in hip hop, especially in the 2000s.
Speaking of production and hip hop, what are you guys feeling now? Like, what's hip hop meaning to y'all in 2025? Like, what's hot?
What's hot in the club probably isn't in any of our like personal libraries when we're riding around, like driving and shit like that. That's what I think.
That's interesting.
So I feel like all of us have like a niche appreciation for certain kinds of hip hop. Like I don't know.
You like Skip Ho's music? That's it.
Yeah, Griselda is like really good.
Because y'all guys, you mentioned Afrobeat, you mentioned R&B parties, but nobody really mentioned hip hop and what that place is.
That's a good question.
In 2025,
I have a deep, deep love for hip hop. That's always my number one. I just think like I feel like a lot of the hot stuff that we're playing in the club is more for like it's like a tool, like it's more serviceable as opposed to like something that I feel like we're passionate about. And then the other stuff is the older stuff, which we're probably passionate about, or at one point in time we were, and like it triggers nostalgia for folks. I think that's like a lot of what hip hop does now. Is you're kind of trying to activate the nostalgia of the folks and pick up the energy a bit, but a lot of people are leaning towards like positive feeling music, where like there was a dark time. We kind of getting out of it now, I guess, but like there's a kind of a dark period of time in hip hop where it was just so low vibration, like just so like opt this, opt that, blah blah blah, like, and it just wasn't like you would play something. It wasn't conducive
to who you were.
Yeah, it was like an instant thing of like they dropped and everybody's excited that this person dropped.
Right.
And it could be a top artist, and then in like 2-3 weeks, like it's not even in our rotation like that anymore. Or it's not getting the reception that we thought it would. And be honest, like the ladies been holding it down. Like Glow, Sexy Red, Doechii, like those is what been kind of like
speaking to you,
giving you life. You know what I mean? Right. And then everything else has been like, bro, you're not hearing that. Where we playing that? Like people not sitting down smoking hookah and shit like that. It's just people dancing.
Is there anybody in your class or the people that you kind of related to in a certain way? Is anybody champion hip hop like the way that you're champion Afrobeat party or reggae party or R&B party? Is there anybody doing that?
If you're doing hip hop, you're doing open format. Like you're just doing everything else with it. You can't just stand alone and do hip hop for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Why are you asking this?
Well, because my generation, everybody wanted to be Flex.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Tunnel. They were specializing with hip hop. It's like that's what I'm leading with. That's what I'm passionate about. That's where you're gonna find me doing what I do, hip hop. So to have them leading a party with Afrobeats or R&B or dancehall is just very it's interesting, especially in Brooklyn. So it just shows how the landscape has changed in New York.
Well, I think New York has always been a little different. Like
it's a lot different now.
It's like if you go to like the South, there's probably like hip hop DJs and hip hop, like all hip hop parties.
Yep.
Right, but there's no all hip hop parties in New York.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But there are though, right? There are like all hip hop parties are not really in New York.
I think I know like there's a bar called Hidden Tiger that's like dedicated to hip hop. That's
it's predicated on a lot of like nostalgia too, though.
You got
like a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah, it's like old school hip hop. Like Static plays there, like
I dig that, but I'm just saying it's a smaller venue for one, and it's not like mainstream hip hop. It's not hip hop of the day.
Yeah, I feel like now it's like hip hop has to be paired with something. Like it's crazy to say, but hip hop has to kind of be paired with something. Like
unless you're down south. I mean, I was in Atlanta. Like
I'm talking about New York.
That's very, very, very interesting. Yeah, New York very interesting.
So when you guys approach a set, how do you see hip hop? Like, what is the tool of hip hop in your sets?
It can still be prime time. You can still do it in prime time. That's a fact.
But it's like what would you say? It's 70% nostalgic or more? 80% nostalgic?
Depend on the skill level of the DJ and like the room that you're in.
Yeah.
The demographic.
Between 50 and 70% of the
All right,
set.
out of that.
50? Really?
All right, 50 nostalgia.
50's a lot.
Okay, but what is the percentage of what's going to get played that night? It's almost like 15, 20% maybe, right?
Well, and what I'm saying is like percentage-wise, I'm talking about in your hip-hop set.
Yeah.
What percentage of that hip-hop set is nostalgic? Because you're saying 50% nostalgic and 50% new. What is the 50% new that you're playing? You know what I mean?
That's just the context of what new is. I guess that's from like, if you're talking about the last 2 years or something.
Yeah.
But in that pie, it's going to be about 20% of your night?
Yeah. Like, you got...
it's a lot of percentages.
Let's run off the hits, right? You got like...
I like a Help Me.
Sexy Reds. Anything Sexy Red.
Sexy.
A lot of the Glorilla.
Little Central C in there?
No.
Not anymore.
No.
Like a Future.
Definitely
Future.
Cash Cobain.
Cash Cobain.
Drake.
You could go off on Cash Cobain.
Like a Sexy Drill set.
Kendrick.
But that'll end up being like a Sexy Drill set.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll go like Fisher, Attitude,
Kehlani.
All right, so let me just brass tax it. This is what, 35 minutes at best?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially the way you have to play it, because you have to be in and out of those songs a lot of times. You can't really play the whole song.
In and out of
you have to be like...
And those are the relevant joints now.
You're in shock.
Yeah.
No, I'm in shot, bro.
No,
I'm in shot.
because people only want to hear certain parts of these songs. So you have to kind of like prepare like 3-4 songs ahead of time. Like
after the chorus.
Yeah.
You might lose the crowd if you let the
after they're done doing.
You're not gonna do that again.
It's over after that. So get to the next section.
That's a clip. That's a clip.
That was had a little Dominican energy there.
That's funny.
No, you're like in complete shock.
I'm totally shocked. Because it's New York.
But we were just saying
That's
that.
a fact. I'm with you.
35 minutes, man. 35 minutes. And that's basically what it's come to.
But think about it. When's the last time we had somebody say like a Pop Smoke? Like when Pop Smoke was giving us consistent shit for.
No, I understand it, but you're talking about the whole genre. We're not just talking about one artist. Because
but we're talking about New York, though.
If you substitute Pop Smoke for Sexy Red, you're playing them about the same amount of time.
I mean, but we're talking about New York though.
Yeah.
That's a New York artist. Like people felt that. Like you could be in Brooklyn and play Pop Smoke, and it'll change the party.
Right.
But I think he's talking about the duration.
I'm talking about the duration.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the amount of music,
that
right?
And of hip hop, because like I said, you're gonna play mostly Afro, R&B, and then some hip hop. It's like you're gonna use it as maybe like a explosion in your party. But when I play the Sexy Red, everything's gonna go up. Yeah. But you're only gonna play it for 20, 30 minutes.
But I think Millhouse has a point. If there was someone that was really holding down New York, like Pop Smoke, there would be more music. Yeah. You know?
But I'm not just talking about New York. I'm just talking about hip hop.
But Cash Cobain was kind of leading that charge and had a really big movement, but it wasn't big enough to like kind of hit outside of New York, like to the West Coast or anything like that.
Like
that's the
I
only
think
issue.
the last person who really did that shit, no bias, was Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap was crazy.
Like he gave you a 75 BPM record, a 95 BPM record, like a 130 BPM record. Like you could play him in so many different parts of your set, and every one of those songs gave you like a positive reaction from the crowd, and you could kind of let that rock. Like I think even like 6, 7, 9, you could let Monty's verse rock.
Totally.
And like that gave you some grace, like in the club. You know what I mean? Like when you were just looking for the next song, and then it was also in that pocket where you could play, "Hey ladies, say all these different songs to pair with it." Now it's like we're still doing that.
Right. So now you're saying basically the sets are more, and this is no diss because this is my flavor. You're more gearing your sets towards the women. It's more female
always
centered.
100%.
And then the only thing you'll get is like for the fellas, you probably doing Finito.
So that tunnel era type of shit is over.
It's been over.
Yeah, that's been over.
Come on, Goldie.
I didn't realize it was that bad though. I'm like, you know.
You got to move
deep
quick.
down,
It used to be a time when I was like one of the few people playing R&B, like actual R&B.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when was the last time you approached, even what you just said, like when was the last time you approached the room and said, I gotta get the dudes wilding out right now? You don't, that's not a priority.
Yeah, I don't have to do that.
I'm like, yo, I need to get the fellas dancing right now. That's never been a priority.
Do that.
I'll do it a little later. Maybe, no. But I got a question. If you guys had to curate like a party that was all hip hop for a whole night, how would y'all curate that? Would it be a really impossible feat? How would you curate that?
Well, she got the lady set, and then like that from like
wait,
from like 85.
Let's say you guys, we're gonna curate a party. We're gonna curate this hip hop party in Brooklyn together.
Bringing hip hop back. It's called Bring Hip Hop Back.
No, that sounds crazy.
that's an unk party right there.
Yeah, it is.
Tim's and Fitteds.
Function.
Tim's and Fitteds only.
We're gonna start this new party. It's gonna call
Bring Hip Hop Back. Dress code strictly
Fight for New York City.
We're gonna drop that new Curtis blow. No. But let's say we have to curate this party, and I want give me like, look, there's 4 of y'all. Give me the set times. 10 to 12, 12. Like I want the set times, and then I want to see how you curate each hour, and how would you do it?
10 to 4?
10 to 4.
Okay.
Or you think a day party would be more?
Not even.
Night party.
Night party.
Now, where's it going to be at? Where's it going to be at?
Why do you say a night party for hip hop?
It just gives off night energy.
Energy.
And where's it going to be at? Like, what spot would y'all choose? Y'all have to choose a spot in Brooklyn. What spot would y'all have to do it at?
A hip hop party.
Hip hop party.
Honestly,
I like this little this thing we're doing. Okay.
I feel like Shemansky was like a good hip hop party, like a spot for hip hop.
Yeah.
Let's say if Shemansky was still open, we'll probably do Shemansky.
Is this like, so normally for a good hip hop party, I feel like it has to have a low ceiling and it has to be almost like a sweat box.
Okay.
It's got to be tight.
I was thinking about Lily Star because, you know, people smoke. You can go out, nice views.
I haven't been there yet.
I like Lily Star. But
like, does there have to be an outdoor element to a hip hop party? Nah. Or yes?
I would hope so.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want no sausage fest, bro.
No, I'm saying like an outdoor. I didn't say a sausage fest.
I don't want no sausage fest.
Like
You gotta have some breathing room, bro.
Like only men want to be indoors or some shit.
let's do Lily Star.
All right,
Lily Star. Like, what's that venue?
What's the vibe? What's the vibe?
It's like a rooftop-ish
Okay.
venue.
Yeah, indoor, outdoor.
Indoor, outdoor. Okay.
At the Moxie Williams.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
keep going.
All right. So how we curating this all hip hop party? All night.
No house. I want to hear your take on it.
Queens, get the money. Come on.
My take on it.
He the New York native, so
I mean, we definitely got to break it up, like to have like a new portion, like, you know, with all the sexy drill. I would say you definitely like a 2000s era. You know, like we need some like.
But 2000 era is broad, right?
Dipset, Cam.
Cam.
We definitely gotta have the Dipset. Gotta have a unit. Shout out to Queens 50. They had their run.
Right.
Like I think you can go a long time with like that Rockefeller.
Yeah.
G Unit.
Rough Riders.
Rough Ride. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
So
that
if you
that
crew
would
it up.
that would carry most of the party.
So when you say Rockefeller, you mean like
Kanye,
state property,
Beanie.
Little Petey Crack.
that's Dipset basically.
Little Freeway Petey Crack.
Yeah, that era.
That era, like yeah.
And then obviously the Ja Rules. I feel like the Murder Inc.
Murder Inc.
Same.
Like yeah.
So your Ye stuff.
Yes.
You throwing in.
So
Drake,
what hour is
you throwing
that?
in-
What hour is that? You think?
I mean, to me, that's the majority.
It's like 10-1.
That's the majority of the party.
That's like 10-1 to me.
Well,
Really?
Because
Yeah,
one
just
is
let
like
me
prime
close.
time where you.
But what about
Yeah.
South? Like South shit.
Oh, we
Yeah, this sound like a New York-
that was
New
an,
York
that was an
hip-hop
important part of my
Yeah.
because I went to school in Virginia, went to college in Virginia, so like that's when I discovered Gucci Man and
Right.
all that other stuff. So
It's a New
definitely-
York party though, right?
huh?
It's a New York.
No,
party.
no,
It's
a
in
hip-hop
it's
party.
in
In
New
New
York.
York, we don't
in
have
New
to
York.
play
It's a
New
hip hop
York.
party. Okay.
In New York.
It's an all hip hop party.
All hip
All
hop.
hip hop. Okay.
So off the top of my head, Sexy Drill would have to be prime time
After 1.
after 1. So
All right,
is
fine.
2 a.m. too late?
What?
Nah, I don't agree.
You don't agree?
No.
When do you think? You think it's like end of the night?
Nah. I think it's like 11:30 to like 12:30.
Oh, you think it's early like that?
Really?
Sexy drill, yeah, because it's not a deep pocket.
It's not, but don't you think a lot of people want to hear it? So you wait, like, you know,
Like a hip hop
later in the
party
night.
now?
All right, say we sold out the party, right? And there's about 200 people. Okay, how many people can fit a Lily Star?
Yeah, 300-400 people.
All right, so say there's like 150 to 200 people in the club before 12. I think you should play Sexy Drill like 11:30 to 12:30, like within that pocket.
I think it has to go later.
I feel like the early 2000s were just fine. The Kanye's, the
I just feel
the
like
679s, the Fetty Waps,
Yeah.
we can even do that. And then once
You could even go to
like,
90s shit,
You can
too.
go to 90s stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
What 90s?
And then when
I
you
just
get to
got-
like one
90s?
after one, then you could do the no hands. You can still play throwbacks like the no hands. That's why then get to the trap.
when can I play Shook Ones?
Were you talking about 90s like Shook Ones and stuff?
When can I play Shook Ones?
What 90s joints are you guys running?
I'm thinking like
right now.
Biggie, you know, like
Right,
like
yeah.
the classic.
So what's your
Top
cutoff?
line.
You know what I mean?
What's your cutoff? 95 is like from 95 on.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Man.
Makes sense.
I don't think we have to go too boom
maybe
bap though.
Maybe I'm too
Yeah.
hip hop.
In 2025, I don't think we don't got
Boom bap for the start.
You tell me
First
Shook
hour,
Ones
bro.
It
part two
also
not gonna
depends
go
on the
up.
demo too, man. Like I don't like.
For all the killers in the $100
Wait,
bills.
are we allowed?
Everybody put your fucking hands up.
Are we allowed to play Bad Boy?
Wait,
no.
are you, wait, but that's a good question. Are y'all allowed to play Bad Boy? You guys stop running Bad Boy records?
I don't need
I mean,
it.
I still play.
I thought I really needed it, but I don't need it.
Wow.
I miss.
Definitely play Mace.
I need a girl. I miss playing at an R&B party.
I thought I needed it, but I don't need it.
I definitely
But
don't.
I miss playing.
Part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, bangers. Bangers.
Thought I needed
Diggs,
it,
thank
but
you.
I don't need it.
Danny
bruh.
Diggs, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, there's the Danny Diggs No Diddy edit pack, where Danny Diggs took all the
Diddy's
Diddy's
voices
voice
out of
and
all the songs.
all of his like mentions his name.
That's
I think
real
I saw-
hater
I think
shit
I
right
saw
there,
that
man.
on. I think I saw that on.
The ad libs too.
Yeah.
Everything.
There's a really good
He said,
Benjamin.
"Fuck that."
Like he has a Benjamin's version that has Jadakiss
rhyming.
doing Diddy's verse.
Word?
Yeah, I need
Is
to
that
say
AI
more.
or something? Like
it is AI. It is AI.
But Jadakiss wrote it for him, so it doesn't sound like.
Oh yeah. Wow. Oh shit.
That's crazy.
And then he made a live version from the verses, and he made a second version with Jadakiss live at the verses with the Dipset.
Oh.
That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah, I might need that one.
That's fire.
I can send that to you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
That's fire.
See, we can be useful.
Keep hip hop alive. Keep hip hop alive.
Wait, so I'm just gonna start putting out, eras and putting them into time slots. So 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. What's a good era to put in there?
I think that's when you could play shows.
On a walk-in.
That's crazy.
Nah, because it's not going to get people comfortable when they walk in, right?
I got you stuck off the roof.
I'm thinking about the old heads.
It's almost
Cat's gonna be watching their back.
I almost think. I
think like a good 90 to 95 BPM.
I almost think for your hip hop party, you should do the most unpredictable shit. So if you're gonna do 90s, you do it at prime time, just
That's
to
what
really
I'm saying.
to create a moment.
Yeah.
To be like, look, this is hip hop. We're not gonna do that shit in the beginning. We're gonna give it to you at the most prime time and make a moment out of this shit and really like kind of teach your crowd. Like you said, like training the crowd is so important now. It's training them like, oh shit, I didn't know like these 90s records could hit this hard at prime time. And it sends a message to all the other parties like y'all doing it wrong.
You know what will go good
Right?
for that first like hour to 2 hours, like some R&B hip hop ballads.
Like Chingy or something.
Yeah, that too, like the early 2000s, like
rapper and singer.
Jaquan Hood Hop.
yeah,
kind of
like
shit.
like
Wow.
those, yeah.
There's so much hip hop in
This
that.
is a lot.
Like
a lot.
hip hop has definitely felt very one dimensional, like in the past few years. But like,
Just a lot, man.
oh my god, like I just thought about them.
Now that you're like-
you have like Chingy, you have Buy You a Drink, you got all the shit that Ludacris did. You got all of these different, very like easily distinguishable types of hip hop.
Because I think, like, I don't know if y'all as DJs see the formula, the New York formula of hip hop, and I think it's like everyone's following this formula. But now that y'all are in a position of power, y'all can dictate what a hip hop formula is. So like, there's no Bay Area music in the East Coast or New York. Like, what if y'all changed that? What if y'all played a little E40, Too Short, and just kind of planted it in?
Yeah,
What if
because y'all influence is crazy right now at this point.
What if y'all like Mustard has so much music and there's only select Mustard songs that y'all are playing? Like, you guys ain't playing YG BPT in New York, in Brooklyn, like that.
True.
You know?
Definitely. But that first YG album still gets some run.
Right. But I'm saying like it's like there's all these pockets of South and like West Coast shit that Brooklyn is not touching on, that y'all could actually try mixing it in, these little like 3-4 song sets or 2-3 song sets, prime time, that could like change it.
Because at some point, people are going to start like, all right, flip side, what we do is wrong. Like, we love those records, but they become cliche after a while.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think it'd be interesting if there was a hip hop party in Brooklyn, but it was like this real unforgivable, like, yo, this is like some hip hop shit that y'all don't fuck with, some Miami shit, you know, like even doing some 2 Live Crew, you know, dropping that in the middle and then going into like drill, you know, like there's like a lot of things that can that y'all could do, but stick to the game of hip hop, but also like re-educate Brooklyn on like, you know, like hip hop like on a kind of global like
That could be fun.
level,
Like, this is
like
where it
from
all
different
started.
demographics.
Let's give it a try, y'all.
That'd be fun.
Is it really? Y'all
Let's
gonna
do
really do it?
Let's do it.
We just can't call it Bring Hip
It's-
Hop
we
Back.
can't call it Bring Hip Hop
Hip Hop Alive.
The name stay.
I'm thinking. I'm like that. That sounds kind of fun.
Let's do a one-off at a nice spot and just like see how it goes.
Flygerian looked like he didn't want to do it. He was just like, I don't know if I want
No,
to
I'm
do that party.
thinking. No, I'm thinking. I'm like, yo, that sounds fire. Because as you're talking about the different pockets of hip hop,
Yeah.
it's reminding me.
That there's mad pockets.
Yeah, it's like
There's
because I
mad.
haven't played that in so long. I haven't heard it in so long.
Right.
I haven't been out.
Even like wanna be a baller, shot call.
Yeah.
Like just like being in New York and Brooklyn and seeing a Brooklyn crowd like sing that, for like some might know, some might not know, but then you post that video and everyone in the booth is wilding out to chop a style, chop a style.
Everybody remembers Mike Jones. Everybody knows that song. It's not like we don't know
Mike Jones. That's a great.
It's not still tipping. Is that going to get played in a party? But if you specialize,
Bubba Sparks. No, I'm just kidding. It's getting ugly, you know. And there's also like a deep Missy Elliott.
Come on.
Yes, he has a catalog.
Yeah,
R&B and hip hop.
Come on.
No. Just R&B.
No, I'm saying just Missy. Yeah,
but I mean.
Yeah. But there's like some R&B. That's why I was saying there's some crossover.
Yeah. You got snap music, like Lil Jon, them Franchise Boys. Like
the thing is, like if I did that or like Goldie did that, we would almost have this stigma of like y'all are old heads doing old head shit. But if you like the young generation does it,
it would really. I think it would make a big difference because just bring some type of variety to the situation.
And we only talk about this now because it hurts your heart so much.
It really does.
Yo, but we got to have a whole half hour or an hour just for Hove. Just Jay-Z alone.
I mean, if that's what y'all want to do.
Just Jay-Z alone.
If you played a long game, you could like do multiple of those events and like dedicate. Like have a set dedicated to a segment dedicated to.
Yeah, that moment in the party when "Do It Again" drops. Like,
But if you're just doing hip hop,
crazy.
You're not just doing New York hip hop. If you're just doing hip hop,
all hip hop,
then anybody could get featured at a prime time.
Yeah. That'll be a nice element.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We forgot about Wayne. Wayne got a whole
Cash Money.
Yeah,
Cash Money.
Whole catalog.
I'm sold. We gonna do it. We got to do it.
Bring hip hop back.
Yeah.
Bring hip hop.
We gotta work on that now.
That's not the name.
We gotta work on that.
Okay, don't shoot me now, bro. Don't shoot me now. Don't shoot me.
We're gonna figure that out.
I'm high.
They should name the party after you.
No, they shouldn't.
Goldfinger, whatever. Wednesday.
No.
Yeah, he got a host. He got a host.
Bring hip hop back. Bring hip hop back.
Bring hip hop back, which sounds crazy. As a party. You guys could come up with a good name though. I don't know. I mean, I you know what? It's interesting to like go through
the hypothetical
buildings of it. Yeah.
The fact that y'all guys can create parties and have them be so successful is very impressive to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
Do you guys find that you have to train crowds more and more? Like,
post pandemic, a lot of people don't know how to party. Like
younger gen or everybody?
Younger gen. And like, you know, the thing about being in a club setting is like that you kind of feed off the energy around you. There's only a handful of people who can come into a club and dance like nobody's watching. You know what I mean? So when you go into the club and everybody's just kind of like stiff, who's going to make you move? You know what I mean? Sometimes the music isn't enough. Sometimes you need that host or you need to be the MC yourself to kind of direct people and give them like encouragement, affirmation of like, yo, you at the club, like dance, you know, like have some fun, let loose. Like a lot of people go through so much shit in the world and on their day, like from work, and like everybody has the intention to go out, but they just like, it's like they don't know what to do. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, they're there to be a part of something to kind of lift their spirits. But like, I was just talking about it with this the other day about like, what somebody's time of their life looks like can be very different from each other. Like his time of his life would be him doing a backflip, toasting, like screaming, yelling, and there's somebody who just plays the wall and is just like really enjoying the music. And then next thing you know, they're posting on their story like they had the time of their life. And you're just like, oh, like people have different ways of enjoying themselves and partying. Right. But I'm like, yeah, man, you got to come to the club and we got to like help y'all get y'all shit right. Like we've been here pre-pandemic. We've been here doing this for 10 plus years, all of us. So now it's like, all right, well, let's show you how to do it. And we're not gonna get on the dance floor and dance with you, but
Fly gonna get on the dance floor.
Well, Fly gonna get on the dance floor.
That's the very famous moment, Juneteenth.
Yeah,
Juneteenth, man, that was a moment.
You went to the Juneteenth.
That was my favorite moment of last year.
Yeah,
bro.
you know,
thank you, bro.
At our 2024 wrap up of the year, we were like, what was like your favorite party this year? And he was like,
that Juneteenth,
Fly Jerry and showcase Juneteenth.
Oh,
hey, appreciate that, bro.
That was crazy, man. That was crazy.
What touched you about it?
The Cash Cobain moment, that was big. but it's like you see him coming out with the flags, waving the flag, and then he just busts the moves on it. I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. Shit worked out. Man.
Wow. Are you guys doing it again this year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we locked in.
Nice.
Never mind, I'm not going to drop the date. But
I mean,
it's going to be in June, though, right?
June 21st.
Saturday, June 21st.
Saturday, June 21st.
PNC Art Center, Homedale, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bigger and better. Shout out to Live Nation. Shout out to Jersey. We going big this year.
Yeah.
Have you guys finalized the acts and performances?
Working on it.
Working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, how did you guys get Tony Humphries? Sheesh.
Just network, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Leading on the network.
Tony Humphries really, shout out to the OG, he really loves what we were doing. And that's what made him come out the house for us. Like, he just said he loves that the young cats are like trying to keep that house culture alive, that Jersey club music alive. And yeah, man, it was an honor to have.
We want to get Tony on here, man. That's
cool.
Yeah.
Bucket list.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Put in a good word for us.
I got you.
Yeah.
So wait, back to training the crowd, is it a transplant crowd or is it is it like you're singing with a younger age crowd?
I've seen,
or like, are the locals always kind of, they know what the fuck's going on? Like born and raised New Yorkers, they're kind of in it. You don't have to really.
I feel like if you under 25, 26, like sometimes those folks don't even know what they're doing.
It's across the board for people.
They'll like literally just don't like. I feel like they're just so socially awkward when it comes to that, and then next thing you know, they're like something big, like people actually start dancing, and then their first reaction is to pull out their phone, or they feel like they don't understand the general standard of what it takes to be a DJ or to move a crowd, and they think that it's just completely fine to just take out their phone and show you what they want to hear, as if like oh sure,
All right, so you feel an extra responsibility to kind of like train them now because you're in front of these people.
Yeah, you gotta stand on business. Like you gotta put your foot down sometimes. Like don't put your phone in my face. Like I dedicate my life to this. You know what I mean? And like it's I'll leave that for another time. But it's just training people. But everybody, we don't all have to MC. Sometimes there's a host there. Sometimes it's a party where you don't have a microphone. And you kind of got to guide them through the music, but like your energy is contagious as a DJ. If you're like a laptop fiend, you're just staring at your laptop,
right?
That might not really work for some crowds. Like especially in this era where everybody's recording the DJ. Before in y'all era, probably like the DJ was the second thought. It was the music that was the priority, and people danced and engaged with each other.
Right.
Now it's like people are looking for that big moment, like that big mashup moment or whatever it may be, and that's their fun is like through the phone, as opposed to like we just had a dance battle, So
it's interesting because it's like when my initial reaction when I see a phone with a light on me is to be like, give them a look like, what the fuck are you doing?
Now you gotta be like this.
But I feel like as like probably in the past 2 to 3 years, I have to like instantly put a smile and be like.
Right, and Cricket don't be smiling, bro.
I think I did that to you at the Mr. Purple. I was like, you were like,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's like, and when y'all like when I see you on camera, all y'all like y'all ready.
Yeah, man.
As soon as you see the lights,
I think just train.
You get used to it. Yeah. You get used to it. As soon as you see that light go on, you just have to like snap into it real quick.
Sometimes you can see in your peripherals when somebody's getting ready to record.
Right.
It's like
you just train for it now. That's train. That's how we train. Like.
Now, does it matter if it's like a song you don't want to be like represented with, like, oh, why are you taping me when I'm playing this song?
I just don't repost it.
Yeah.
Just don't repost it.
Y'all go through that too? What? Like you playing Jack Harlow and you're like, wow, man.
Why you?
This is what you want to
Right.
He's been picking up Jack Harlow.
I was like, why you catch it straight like that?
I'm vanilla, baby.
Nobody wants vanilla.
You're getting filmed and you're singing the words, I'm vanilla, baby.
Or even worse, you're singing a Little Kim record.
Yeah, bro.
Like, oh man.
No, that's happened to me so many times. Like, I'll do these like mixes, like these, like I'll play a joint that like I'll be like, oh, the reaction's crazy and no one's filming. And then I'm playing like some regular jugular ASAP Ferg work, and then I'm like, oh, and then there's like four Instagram stories of just that one song, and I'm like, why is everyone filming?
Or the same song, like,
the same.
How many times can somebody get filmed dreams and nightmares. Like you want. Like,
yeah, our favorite videos is when our friend or whoever records us catches the transition.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, yeah, now you see I'm really nice, right? Like
I'm actually working. I'm not like performing, posing.
And then there's the friends that like, or the people who you just did a crazy transition and that's when they pull their phone out after the transition.
Right.
And now it's just like everybody kind of like, that's like the awkward part. So you probably did something really good before you played I'm Vanilla Baby. And then like now you on camera.
Goldie loves that. You love that track.
No, stop, man.
You love that track.
I like that record, man.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's a good record.
I'm not Vanilla Baby.
but you kind of are.
Okay.
Playing that shit.
Just to piggyback on something as far as training your crowd, like before we started, me and Ken were talking about how people just sometimes just go to things. They don't know what they're going to. So I think that's a big part of it. Yeah, I have people.
You decide to just go out on a night
just because everybody's going.
Yeah, and it's
is that everything's like a ticket, right? Like
nah, you could RSVP.
People
RSVP.
sometimes
Okay.
But it's like I'm doing an R&B party, and why are you holding in your head vibes, cars, tell? Like you came to an R&B party, so it's like, I mean, I can kind of like put something like kind of R&B-ish in, maybe like a romping shop or something,
right.
But like. Don't stand there with Vibes Cartel on your head at an R&B party, at an actual R&B party. You know what type of party you're going to. So I feel like people have to start knowing what they're getting themselves into. Like,
yeah, sometimes they don't. I feel like as much as we like to believe that people read flyers and like know what they're going to, they don't, bro. Like they'll pull up. A lot of people might be out and then they say, "Oh, I heard it's lit at this spot," or this DJ is playing at this spot.
Yeah.
And they go there and then they're just like, "Why am I not hearing what I want to hear?" That goes with, well, your branding has to be strong as fuck. You have to beat it into their heads what you got going on. But I also want to take, like, I feel like venues should also take some accountability for that because there's a lot of clubs that have no billing and it's because I feel like they're just trying to cast a wide net by not saying what exactly is going on that night.
Just let them in.
And let them in because, I mean, I get it. It's hard to keep a club open nowadays. But with that being said, that, like, leaves people who took time to curate an event are vulnerable to just walk-ins who are just like, yo, I want this vibe. And
this is what they usually play here at this spot.
Exactly.
And then they come back and they think that, oh, well, why aren't you playing The Cure?
Yeah. Like, instead of the bouncer being like, yo, this is the R&B party, this is where you're at. You know what I mean? Or the person at the front.
There should be some kind of signage or like front of house. Wait, what happened?
Nah, I'm just, that would be so amazing if a motherfucker walk in and they have a dance hall party and it's like, wait, why aren't you playing The Cure?
Was it like a house music song?
Sure, it's like a pop.
It's like an 80s, like
80s pop, like retro pop.
It's like it was Depeche. we were listening to Depeche Mode and New Order on Wednesday. What is this going on?
Yeah, because sometimes people go to the spot because of the spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're figuring, well, I go here and I've heard this. What's going on today? And they have some type of entitlement sometimes. They're like, well, I come here all the time. You're supposed to play my record.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more rare nowadays, though, right?
I think so. I feel like people, at least our generation, are being a little more intentional about like following the DJs and who they like to hear. But then you still get those walk-ins that's kind of like, here on a whim.
Yeah.
They be so bold, bro.
Yeah. I think those are the ones without the DJ etiquette and like don't get it.
But it's
Speaking
also
of
like
DJ etiquette, what's this DJ etiquette thing y'all talking about?
It's different things. You got
showing up on time.
DJ
wait.
That's the whole other, you know what?
Showing up on time.
Wait. What Gold is saying is that before we started recording, like we were like, oh, what topics do we want to talk about? And then everyone was like DJ etiquette. And
is that a big thing?
The DJ etiquette, that's an issue that y'all been having with other DJs?
Yeah.
A lot or just like enough?
Here and there.
From time to time.
Yeah, here and there.
From time.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Is it like equipment stuff or is it like just
the DJ switch off, I think. Like,
switching between DJs. I mean, you got to understand.
That's still a problem?
It's a booming like a booming industry right now. Everybody wants to be a DJ and that's okay. I think that's good. People want to be DJs. Like the end of the day, it's about lasting. Who's going to last, right? But there's people who get on or they come, they don't. I guess the rule of thumb is like you want to show up at least an hour early, right, for your set, right? You want to scan the room and see what you got going on. Even if you're a regular there, you have another DJ getting on, you want to get there and just be prepared. I personally feel like 10 minutes before your set is like, okay, you can have your shit set up on the side, ready to plug in, depending on what you do, sticks or laptop. And around like 2 minutes left of that the previous DJ set, that's when you can start, switching over. Because, with HID mode, you got to plug in a lot of chords. There's some people who, like, depending on what the booth is like, I have, like, DJs that have, like, come up and hold their laptop on the side, like, right next to you, and then just, like, stay in your space. And as a DJ, this right here, this room right here is your space. Like, when you get off, you can step over. Mm-hmm. But there's people who just sit there and just wait for you to, like, finish DJing, and now it's like, you're in my space. I'm trying to close out strong, whatever it may be. That's my thing. I get the ick from that. That makes me really annoyed. Like, move, please. And then you got folks that are just like plugged up and just so ready to go, so eager. But it's like, yo, man, like you gotta give space. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. I'll say that.
Is it because you have 10 minutes left on your set time?
No, just too close. Just like
I think if I'm DJing and you're up next, it's my responsibility to acknowledge that you're here and start switching things over.
Yes, I'm big on that.
You know what I mean? Like if you're there with a laptop, I should be like, "Yo, what's good? Where do you want me to be?
Yep.
And what do we need to hook up?
Yep.
Because I think if you're gonna really like end on a big note, you got to end on a big note either before the switch off or switch, like get them hooked up quick, and then do your big finish. But I'd say the DJ before the next DJ is responsible for taking care of them. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, the CDJ is off. Mm-hmm. The mixer is a little fucked up.
Yep.
And then like switching them over, doing the cables. If I have to reach around you, and
some people don't do that.
But if you never acknowledge me, I'm like, all right, now
that's some bullshit.
See, because I've had the DJ literally kind of like take their headphones out and be like,
and that's why I said the DJ switch off.
And I'm like, yo, like
you got to figure it out yourself.
I'm like, yo, like what the
bullshit?
Like what the fuck? I've actually screamed and
like, you hate me?
Yes.
See, our DJ etiquette back in the days, it used to be like, okay, we're playing on vinyl or we're playing on CDs or whatever the case may be. Yo, I'll give you the next 2-3 transitions that I'm going to do. I'm going to end off with this record. So you'll know when that record comes on, you can make your switch, and at least you'll know that if you went to go downstairs to talk to somebody or grab a drink, you know that record is on. That's what I'm ending off of.
Yeah, but Goldie, you're switching the needles out yourself.
Yeah, but it's still, you're still making space.
You don't know, but like if you're coming up next, I'm like, yo, give me the needles and I'll switch them off.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll put your slip mats in there.
I'll do that.
And then, I'll make sure everything's golden. Like if I'm DJing before you, I'm moving my laptop first. I'm moving my laptop, giving you the main laptop stand, and I'm playing the last 2 songs I'm going to play on my laptop. I go as far as to give you the plug so that I'm not plugging anything out. Yeah.
While you're getting ready to come on.
Well, I would plug them in myself.
Like even if I had to leave, right? Yeah. And I just need to take my plug, I'll do that before you get on the set. So it's not like I'm going and plugging shit out in the middle of your set. Because I've seen people do that to me.
Yeah, like when I'm on CDJs, I'll like give you the hub for this. I'll like take out my plug the USBs that are in the CDJs, take those out so you can plug yours in. So I'm only connected to the mixer. And then now you're able to do that. That's like with 2 songs left. You know what I mean? So like now you have Grace, and I'm like, and usually I think what DJs do, like seasoned DJs, we'll have our laptop open, our Serato ready, and you may not know what I'm about to do, but the DJ who's about to get on will probably just be prepared. Like they either have a song they're set on starting off with, or they'll be like, all right, we can keep the vibe going. If you're in this BPM and this vibe, all right, you played that last song, all right, I'm ready to go now, and then we connect. And now it's like, yeah, like I feel like we all had a situation where we played on a fucked up mixer, and I'm like, yo, this effect button is not working, or yo, I got here a little late. Like, what did you play?
Yeah.
Yo, I did this, and that. All right, cool, bad. I feel like that's common courtesy, bro. Like, if you didn't get there on time, like, yo, can I see your history? Depending on the relationship you have.
It's also common courtesy if the guy's coming on after you. Yo, I just played that 3 records ago. You gonna start off playing that same record?
Exactly.
It's disrespectful to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. Like, I can just play the record again, and it's not gonna matter that you played it.
Some people do that.
Yeah, I know a lot of DJs.
I've had DJs tell me they don't care.
Wow.
Yep.
I also think there's I think there's certain DJs that have this like I don't know if something's in their brain that's not wired, but they'll hear like 8 songs that was already played in the last 30 minutes, and they'll play it again. And it just doesn't click in their head like this was played 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, because
they think that they came up with it basically.
No, but it's like I look at these DJs and I'm like, did you didn't hear? Like I just heard 6 of the same songs that was played in the last 30 minutes, and I know they were here, and I know that they heard it, but there's just something in their brain that doesn't hit. That's like, wait, maybe I shouldn't play the same fucking songs that were just played, or they just tuned out.
I'm about to say, or they didn't prepare.
You think it's that they didn't prepare?
Some of them tuned out, some not paying attention.
And then some of it just has to do with arrogance, bro.
Yeah.
Like, let's call it what it is. Like, some people think they could just...
they think they could play it better or
they could
get a better
reset a
reaction.
room. Like,
I agree.
Bro, like, come on, man. Like, the thing about DJing, for me, I view it, especially nowadays, because it's like, it'd be 4 or 5 DJ lineups. It has to be a team sport, bro. You can't just be on your own shit for real. Like, I feel like if Millhouse is on 10 to 12, what he does can definitely affect what's going on later. You know what I mean? And then if she's on 12 to 1, he's on 1 to 2, I'm on 2 to close. Like, it all kind of flows. Like, what you do in prime time definitely matters. What you do as the warmer definitely matters. The closer can take them home depending on when you close. But, like, it has to kind of flow. And if you're up there, like, say if you had a good crowd early and you're banging them in the head with all of the bangers and, like, you can cause ear fatigue. You can cause, like, just people like, I heard it already. I got my fix. And then now you wondering why his set, he's coming in like,
right.
I thought I was about to kill this shit.
Yeah.
What? And then now you don't even know why, but it's just like, yeah, bro. Now one of his friends is like, yo, bro, Millhouse played all of that shit.
Well,
bro.
some people, they come in with the situation where it's not my responsibility about what y'all guys played.
Yeah.
It's more my responsibility for me to do what makes me look best.
Well, that's entering like a night, like a festival DJ. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of, I don't know, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like a lot of younger DJs think it's a festival kind of DJ kind of moment for them. So they don't really care who's playing what before them or after them. There's like, this is my hour and this is my time slot and I need this content recorded because this 1 hour is gonna like hold me down for the next 2 months or something, right?
Yeah.
So they don't really give a fuck about what they have to do at 11 or 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. They're just gonna go out for self.
I mean, it goes back to what Sho was saying. Like, it's a team sport. If you peak the party too early, it makes it shitty for everybody.
Well, how do you teach that? How do you relay that message?
I don't know. I mean,
you don't.
I rant.
Well, you won't tell the DJ, right? You won't.
I mean, depending on the relationship.
But I've walked into a party. The opener has been on from like 10 to 11:30, and he's already playing "Get It Sexy," and I'm like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Like, and then, but you just come back on, you reset the party, and then go on your little rant, and then sometimes it gets back to them, sometimes it doesn't. But like, like
I don't have no problem saying save that for me, hold that for me, like. If you buy, I see it
while
on your.
You just better
I see it prepared. I see it on the off deck.
But
I'm like,
but what happens when it's already being played? When you're walking into it, like
you walking into it,
like we did a pool party. We did a pool party. I'm walking into the pool party, and the guy's playing Act Up, and nobody's at this pool party already. I guess it can be played again later, but like, still, why are you doing this? This is the calmest time of the event. Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
I think it's I'm gonna shut up.
What?
No, it's just like it's a skill issue, of course.
Yeah.
It's just like
it's a music catalog.
I just think psychologically, like, bro, you have to be able to read a room. Like, you can't. Why would you do that? Like, your best weapon, you should try to hold that.
Lack of mentors. People don't have
mentorship.
They're like underdeveloped.
I think you think it's the mentorship?
Yes.
I just
it's
think
100%.
I think like to be a DJ or creative, you have to be sensitive and you have to be aware.
Yeah, hyper aware.
Hyper aware for sure.
And being hyper aware is being sensitive, right? So it's like, I don't mean like sensitive, like, like emotional. I mean like, No, I was like, I ain't sensitive.
But how do you get to know some of these things, right?
But it's like you have to kind of already be like kind of diligent, and you have to be aware of what's going on. like, oh, that record didn't really work. Even in early stages before you start DJing, you kind of like hear other DJs and you hear parties and you hear music, and you kind of like, well, why did the DJ play that? And right after this big song.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of like having people to speak to with more context, and then also having that like experience, you know? We've been calling it a sport. I always compare DJing to basketball, and it's like, yeah, you need practice.
Reps.
Exactly. You need reps. You need to understand like it's a long game. You know what I mean? Like, especially in New York.
Yep.
10 to 4 a.m. That's 6 hours.
And that this is what I want to talk about.
Showcase. Hold on. I mean to interrupt you. I don't want to stop nothing, but we got to stop for a quick burger break, all right?
Where you get these burgers from, bro?
These burgers are from Casa Burger, which is attached to a restaurant, Casa 13. Shout out to Dexter Love. Dexter Love is a DJ here in New York, and he opened this new burger spot, Casa Burger. Yeah. And he was like, yo, y'all recording today? I was like, yeah, I'm recording. With like, you know, the Brooklyn 4. And he was like, yo, son, you got some burgers. And I've been meaning to stop through.
Where are they located?
They're located like on Delancey.
Oh, okay, dope.
And I've been meaning to stop through. And these are like smash burgers, but like they're fucking bomb. Yeah.
All right, let's have some, yo.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see what's up.
So this has been on my list to check.
Yeah, I had this shit like a month ago.
Oh, for real?
Oh my god.
Because they opened recently, I know that.
I tried the chicken sandwich and I tried the burger.
Oh, they got a chicken sandwich too?
Yeah.
Fries are pretty good.
Fries are great.
Oh man, these are good. This is a Casa Burger. Then this might be my new favorite smash burger spot. I got to put it up there with like 7th Street, Gotham, Hamburger America. This is up there with that, man.
It's probably like grumpy because we was hungry.
Oh, so this came at the right time.
Yeah. Now we about to be mad nights. Like, I love all the DJs out here, man. Y'all doing y'all thing, man.
Dexter Love, thank you so much. Casa Burger, yo, official. Thank you very much, man.
Good looking.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go, and I still got to check out the spot because I didn't have the chicken sandwich show that you were talking about. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I'm sure. What were you saying before?
I think we were talking about etiquette, and I just wanted to speak about navigating instant gratification because a lot of DJs have a hard time dealing with that.
What do you mean?
So a lot of DJs kind of base their set off instant gratification. That's what I noticed is like you want to play a song, you want to get this big reaction, but some DJs fail to understand the process of getting to that point. Like, yeah, you know, setting the tone in a room doesn't mean you have to hit them over the head over and over again because naturally the human in the club is not going to be on 10 for the whole night. They're going to have peaks and valleys, and like as a DJ, depending on where you're playing, you got to know as a warm-up guy to keep it light, and there's so much music in that warm-up set that you can dominate with that'll set a tone for if Millhouse goes first and Ken goes second, Millhouse makes Ken's job even easier, and Millhouse can live with the satisfaction that I'm a reason for that. I'm one of the reasons for that. And then Ken can do her thing and take it up here even more and have a couple moments in her set where people are kind of going crazy. Then Fly gets on, and Fly is like, all right, now Fly, you're like prime set. Now you know what you can do. And there was room left for you to or songs left on the table for you to go boom, 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 and still have a moment in your set where people are kind of chill, but the energy is like naturally at an 8 now, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the whole, when I say instant gratification, like people, they think that everything they have to play, you're going to anticipate this ooh-ah factor, when in reality, there has to be 4-piece combos in your set, you know, that like create this moment, that create that, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Like you have, for example, I don't know, like that New York set where you can, I don't know, like a Be Faithful, put your hands up, or all those different things, right? And you create a moment, but like there's a build up to a song from those 3 songs before that, is what I'm saying. Like, and a lot of DJs have trouble, what I've noticed, like with instant gratification, because as soon as they don't get it, they kind of lose their game. Like they're like, damn, they didn't fuck with that. Scrambling, now I gotta give them another banger. Like it's just, you know, sometimes it's about just like getting through that little moment of where you thought something might have hit, and you're just, now they just staring at you a little weird. You're like, oh, okay, this is not that crowd. All right, let me pivot or something, you know?
It's also like, is it also that certain DJs, they don't DJ enough? And so like when they do go out, they just want to play these hits or these selection of records. Whereas like Millhouse, if you're DJing 5-6 nights a week, you're used to like digging a little deeper in your music catalog, and you have a larger music knowledge, so you know that this B-side song is gonna hit just as hard as a banger. But because of the time that you're on, you know it's the opportune time to play that B-side song, and it's just gonna hit harder.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things with that. Like going back to what Sho said, that first 2-3 songs of your set are very crucial because that's when you're figuring out the crowd. You're seeing like where they're at with it, and so those first couple of songs are very crucial. And it might be a little bit awkward, but you stick to your guns. Like it's the first couple of minutes. You're getting to know each other. And then also like a big thing that helped me is like before I touched a lot of like these big stages, I DJ'd in spots like Bedvine Brew for 5-6 hours by myself. Right. So that's how I learned how to
build your stamina.
Yeah, and like I learned how to open a party. I learned how to do a prime time. I learned how to bring it home. Like a lot of DJs now, they just get booked for an hour set. They do their hour and they're done. They can't do 3-4 hour sets by themselves. And like I learned from like not to burn myself out. So it's like, all right, if I'm DJing for 6 hours, I don't want to repeat songs. So it's like there's no need to repeat songs. There's that much music. Just tell the story, open it up, give them some bangers like in the meat of the party, and then like bring it home. And then that's how you learn how to have etiquette for other DJs and respect for other DJs. You learn like you don't have to go crazy in that first hour, especially when it's just you and the bartenders. It makes no sense. Like what are you going crazy for?
Right.
Right. So you just have to learn how to pace yourself, and you have to have that respect for the other DJs that you're on the lineup with, and think about the party overall as a whole, and not just your set.
But it's also like not many DJs have an opportunity to do a 5-6 hour set no more.
There are opportunities, they just don't pay that much.
Yep.
So like most of these spots that are asking you to do a 4 or 5 hour set, is a little hole in the wall in like in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And they don't pay that much because it's a small spot, so it's free at the door. It's no cover. It's and they're not making $30,000 a night off the bar. They're making maybe $5,000-$10,000. So they don't pay that much. The opportunities are there. It's just if you want to take it.
So do you still see? Because I still do a 4 or 5 hour set like once or twice a month. I just don't like promote it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like it's practice to me. It's almost like I'm getting paid to practice.
Yeah.
And then like I try different like ideas, and I'll see like if this new song works. And also I'll just start changing how I like start a party and end it. So I'll be like, all right, I was hitting them a little early. Let me try to hold back as much as possible. And sometimes it works. And sometimes I lose the crowd a little early, and I'm like, all right. So I think around 11:30 to like 12:30, I just got to go for broke. I have to like really hit them, and then like bring it back around like 1 a.m. And keep them there till like 2, and then like I'll be good. So like I like try different like approaches on shit. But do any of y'all still do that, or y'all don't do those? I mean, those joints.
I do at least once a month.
Yeah.
I do it. I make it a point to do a 4 or 5 hour set at least once a month.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like paid practice.
Yeah.
It's like I get to feel it out. Like try new stuff. Try starting the party this way as opposed to how I would usually start it. So like you said, it's just like paid practice.
Yeah.
But I'll do it like on a off day, like a Thursday or a Wednesday or something like that, because the weekends is when
prime time.
It's prime time. So it's like I might take like a Wednesday or Thursday, do a 4 or 5 hour set, and just like just go with it.
Yeah. So why do you think DJs aren't taking those jobs? Just because the money's not good?
I mean,
like they don't see the value in
I mean, my opinion, because I can make what I make that whole night there, I could probably make in an hour on a weekend.
Right.
So I'm DJing 5 hours, making the same what I could make in an hour on a Friday. So it's like, financially, does it really make sense?
They think it's a bad look too.
Well, you gotta love what you do.
Yeah.
I think that's why you can do that. It's because you love what you do, but also we come from a class or an era where you kind of earned your ranks that way, where like you had to put the work in, or like it's just the DJ thing. When you used to DJ, when you guys used to DJ, like say like when you first started DJing, were there like 4, 5, 6 DJ lineups, or was it like a different thing for you guys?
It definitely wasn't that many DJs on the bill.
That's your generation kind of shit.
But you know, I blame that on the promoters because I feel like they've gotten lazy and they're booking 5 DJs because they want these 5 DJs to crowd their crowd. Yeah. So I think that's part of no shots at anybody, but like promoters being lazy.
Well, there's some DJs that have a larger following on Instagram, so they want to put one of those DJs on the lineup, and that they might like I don't know if a lineup of 5 DJs. Like 3 to 4 of those DJs might just be large following, and then one of them might just be like the most solid DJ that holds it down, either prime time or whenever.
The unsung hero, a lot of times, like like how Ken, you was talking about how you view DJing like basketball. There's no training camp for DJing. There's no prereq. There's no like boot camp for DJing unless you go find it. And a lot of those times is how you find out how you can build true skill as a DJ is doing those extended sets. Like, I mean, we come from the era of doing backyard parties and doing barbecues for our cousin or our friend or something like that for their 16th, 15th, whatever, 20th birthday, and DJing from 3 to 11 and like just figuring it out throughout the day and knowing that there's peaks and valleys to a set. So coming in here and like, it is an adjustment. I remember you even talked about it in the past podcast about like, it can be a challenge sometimes doing just 1 hour because it's like you're so used to doing a few hours.
I still haven't mastered that 1 hour set. Like,
and
it's a struggle. Like, how do I show my like all my skills?
I feel like you're not taking them anywhere yet.
Yeah, it's kind of like the first 15 minutes is figuring the crowd out. It's like resetting the room, and then the next 15 is like seeing what works, and then usually by the last 30 you're kind of like, okay, I got it. But it's like it's never like, it's very rare, I think, for me where I'm like, I hop on and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what to do. In some occasions it does happen, but it's one of those things. I'll show up early too. Like I'll show up at least like 2 hours early so I could hear what the first and second DJ played before me, and then I can get an idea of what they're reacting to, and then I'm like, oh, they play this, I can't play this, I can't play that, and I'm good there.
Yeah.
And I think to like answer your question about like why some DJs may not take those 4 or 5 hour like long call sets, I think it's kind of what you said. It's like I don't think they care enough because the reasons why we take those sets is because we want to refine our sets, we want to see how we can play this, restructure our sets or whatnot. But like a lot of DJs don't really care to do that.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, because they can just
There's no way a 1 hour set is fulfilling.
Yeah, because they can just they can just make the same amount of money. It's just like, okay, bet. Like I don't even need to. I could just go in. I can play these songs that. I could play the same songs the last DJ played. Like that happens often, Crooked.
I agree and I disagree just because I had a recent conversation with a DJ who was like asking me questions. And they were like, yo, look, this DJ has a full-time job, right? They work on the weekends and they get paid well at this one spot. And then the DJ was asking me, how come I'm not working? I'm trying to get into these other venues and these other markets. And I'm like, well, like, why aren't you like DJing anywhere else? And he's like, well, they ain't paying as much as I'm getting now. And I said, well, and he's like, that's a bad look. I feel like it's a bad look if I'm DJing somewhere and I'm making less money. Like my rate will go down. And I was like, oh, no. Like sometimes you got to take a pay cut just to get your foot in the door at another venue. And I think some of those DJs don't realize it. Like they think like the trajectory of their pay rate has to always be climbing. And I'm just like, nah. Like you got to take some gigs that aren't paying that well. And it's like, as long as you're not undercutting nobody, and that's just the rate of that venue, like it's all right to take a lower rate. And especially if you're opening a new market, it's like I just think some DJs might not even know. Like they think like, oh shit, like I'm getting $750 or G for an hour. If I take $400 for this 5 hour set, then people are gonna like pay me less, or I'm moving backwards. So I think there's that little disconnect that they don't know.
Yeah, but they don't know what that can translate into, because a lot of my following, like when I first started, when I was out in Bedvine Brew, people would come specifically to that first Friday just to see me, and people would like follow me on Instagram and then hit me for other gigs. You never know who's gonna be in that room.
Right.
You never know who might pop up. You never know who's going to hear you. You never know who's going to put you on their story, and then somebody else might see you. You just never know. Like, so I'm not opposed to doing it like here and there, because like Sho said, I love it. You know what I'm saying? It to be able to do a 5-6 hour set, have everybody there the whole time, not repeat a song. It's a fulfilling feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be able to leave and everybody had a good time. Like, come on.
How important is like mixtapes for you guys in this era?
Like doing a mixtape, like a mix.
Yeah.
Oh, like releasing mixes.
Yeah.
Oh, we put it out all the time. Like,
it's mostly live mixes, or it's everything?
Yeah, because you think about it, bro. That's like one of our only ways to leave a legacy. Like, as a DJ, like, you have to putting out those live recordings, putting out those like planned sets that you do at home, whatever. Establishing a YouTube presence, like putting out your mixes that way. Like, when I grew up, I looked up to like club DJs. You know what I mean? I never really looked up to these big festival DJs or producers turned DJs. It was like always like a Clark Kent, Flex, like Jazzy Jeff, Kid Capri, all these different things. They had mixtapes. You'll look hard enough on YouTube and you'll find them like really get into it. And that, like, me and Fly, like, we just put like a Ballads and Bottles mix up, or every time I play at LeBain, I hit record, because you're just like studying your game film and you're like, damn, this is good enough to go out. Let me put that out so people can see how I really do out here. And like, yeah, man, I feel like it's important to leave a trail of work, because a lot of times we could be the best DJs in the world, but you only got to the club, like whoever was in that club that night was the only people that got to hear you spin, and that's selling yourself short.
You're comfortable with putting out a live mix out?
Hell yeah.
I would never put a live mix out.
I think it's easier to put out a live mix than a mix you record at home, because that mix should be perfect.
Yeah.
But live, like, the crowd's not going to think twice about something you might have messed up on, and they didn't realize that. But it's like recording at home. It's kind of like, you're at home.
I wouldn't put it up. I wouldn't put it up.
You think people's going to bite off of you?
Yeah, 100% they're going to take your shit.
Definitely.
That's going to happen anyway.
It's going to happen anyways.
You can't avoid that.
No, not really. No, like 100%. Gold,
you think exponentially happens when you post something on.
Gold, you with me, right? Like,
I'm with you.
I would keep my live set to myself unless I'm doing a room that's very different from what I usually do, because I'll be like, oh, like I do one of those sets like twice a year, so I don't mind putting that out there. But like my high energy club set, like R&B and Ribs, second or third time I did it, Nopa, who's the founder and owner of R&B and Ribs, he was like, yo, I want to put the live mix out. And I was like, nah. And I was like, not only because it's like there are certain sloppy spots, which I'm all right with, but there's my mic work in there. There's like certain mixes and transitions.
It's like Attack of the Clones afterwards.
And what happens? This is what happens. A lot of people who are putting out their live mixes, everyone takes their shit. They take their fucking, what they do on the mic, they take everything. And then you got a bunch of little clones around you, and they putting content out, and they stealing your shit. And then everyone's frustrated. And everyone's like, yo, you stole my shit. And it was like, why'd you put it out there? And it's also, I feel like you ruin the live experience when someone goes to see you because they heard it on tape. It's like watching a comedian do his jokes from an old special.
How is that any different from like the things that DJs are doing now, though, when they're just posting their like transitions or their like little mashups and stuff?
I think it's given too much. I think
but that's how they're like literally growing their brand now.
There's a DJ in my camp that's like very adamant about not posting her live mixes.
Yeah.
Like, she does not do it.
I think you could
she
post.
She doesn't like when other parties do it. She says no to everything.
I think it's okay to post like a reaction to a song. But like if you're doing like twice a month, you're showing your
combos and all.
Everyone is taking it. Like everyone's taking your shit.
I think
all your combos do be on SoundCloud.
Listen, bro. I think if I go to the club and I hear you do what I did, and I've heard that plenty of times.
That's sad.
It's kind of flattering. It's not my music, bro. Like I don't.
Yeah, but it is. If people come to hear you,
but Goldie, they come in to hear you, and you gonna deliver it the way you deliver it.
Right.
They can do a little Walmart version of that shit.
But if you hear 20, 30 versions of that combo, of that flow, it kind of wears thin on your thing.
I mean, look, I can give you a DJ, for example. I feel like there's, no offense to nobody, but I feel like there's like 20 to 30 little DJ Camillos running around in New York, right? And he has been like so prolific, like from radio to the club. He knows how to rock a fucking party.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of people who do what he do. Their mannerisms are the same. They're like, how they talk on the mic is the same. that never stopped his flow of money, bro. He's still one of the most booked DJs in the market. You know what I mean? And it's like, and people still go out to see Camilla. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, bro, if I'm killing it, like even if it's not on tape, bro, there's people who come out to come see him play and come see her play, and she has like crazy routines, and I'm just like, well, you could try, and if you could get it done, then do it. Like there's some simple transitions that just hit, and I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't feel like it's.
I think I might not have the same answer tomorrow, but today I'm like,
imitation is flattery,
I'm on the same page
bro.
as you.
Yeah.
Like I want to give as little of what I do as possible, so when you see me, you're like, oh shit. And then like if you see me a second or third time, you might be like, oh, I heard some of this and that. But if I'm on a mix and you're hearing the mix 4 to 5 times, you're playing it, and then you see other DJs doing it, and then it's not the same when you see me do it.
right.
And not only that, it's like everyone's kind of jacking your shit and your style. And I don't know, like I see how frustrated, like every DJ who says like, yo, I'm cool with it. Like I can always create new mixes and everything. I see the frustration later on when they can't. Cause yo, some of these mixes take lifetimes or like years to do. Like these things you put together, it's not like you coming up with like 20,000 new routines every year. Like there's certain things that hit that still hits from 5-7 years ago when you came up with it. And if everyone's doing that and you have your hour set, it's like you kind of need some of those tricks, up your sleeve to like perform it. But if everyone's heard it and you put so much out there, I feel like there's more pressure and you're starting to come up with routines that don't hit anymore.
Shit.
And
I got refinement, like seeing what works and what's worked before, and you see, okay, like this is getting a little like diluted or saturated. Mm-hmm. At that point, then you switch it up. It doesn't have to be like you take the formula out. You know what I mean? I feel like if you don't want making the sauce, you can just make another.
I'm a hooper, bro. I got my bag is deep. Like if you expecting the right, I could go with the left. Like the way that we all be like off the dome, like freestyling some of the transitions. I could play a song that you think I'm about to, what I do usually, and I give them something else. And like, damn, that's just as good.
Yeah, I might be in the club listening to another DJ and see something happen or something played, and it gives me an idea to do something that at that point is then mine.
Have you ever had a DJ play before you and do a couple mixes or do a couple transitions that you've done?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, we're not talking about like, oh, this is my record. This is something that you've branded or you hyped up and you have like a transition for, and then they do it word for word.
Shit, not
in a very long time. I don't think they got the.
Yeah, it's a little different. I think when you start getting to that where somebody's actually got your DNA clone, it's a little different.
That's some shameless shit though. Like I haven't really seen.
I don't think anybody.
Somebody just go bar for bar. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like when that happens, you're gonna think differently. Like I've had friends of mine do 4 to 5 song sets of what I do, and say the same fucking thing on the mic as me, and they play before me, and I've had the club be like, I DJ after or I DJ another night. They're like, oh, you're doing his set, and that's my boy, and I'm like, I had to pull him aside and be like, look, like you're doing my shit, and you have a slightly lower rate than me. So
talk about it. Come on.
So you're getting booked more, which is fine. But every time you come out and hear me, you're taking some of my shit and you're using it at your shit. People get comfortable with that shit.
Yeah,
and they think like, oh, but you're always coming up with shit. Like I know
you'll be alright.
You'll be alright.
Boogie Blind talk about this.
Yeah, Blind.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like when someone famous or someone prominent takes your shit and and multiple people start taking your shit, and it's gonna happen. Like
that shit happened with Hypothetical. And it was like, oh, it's not like. You remember when he did the I forgot what song it was, 21 Questions and Al Green or something like that. I forgot. Mm-hmm. And then like you started seeing it like other people's like bigger platforms.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important to document it, because if you know what I mean. If
well, exactly.
Happen, then there's no receipt. Then they can
they'll
just
rewrite history.
That. But the thing is that Spider Tech kind of got that from 4 Color Zach.
Exactly. Did 4 Color Zach drop that on online? Did he put it out anywhere, or did he?
He did. It was online,
and that's why we can talk about it right now with the receipts.
Exactly.
But if he never did, it'd be like.
But would have ever gotten stolen if he didn't put it online?
Maybe
he could have saw him play though.
Maybe
he could have saw him.
No, but then who wants to go? Like for me, I don't want to go through the shit of talking to people. I don't even want to care of like even remotely checking anyone for taking my shit. You know, like look, like I could go to Vegas and I hear DJs saying what I say on the mic, and that's cool. Like I'll hear them doing certain routines. I'll go and I'll hear them. And I'm cool with it now, but it's like no one's saying, "Oh, yo, like big shout to Crook," or no one's saying big shout to 4 Color Zach. No one's gonna do that because they're gonna say after a while when you keep doing. If I keep doing showcases mixes and I keep doing Flygerian's mic work and I keep doing Ken Dollar's, routines and I do Millhouse's like transitions, I'm gonna think they're mine.
People forget.
I start thinking that's my shit, and people are like, "Yo, you killed it." I'm not gonna say, "Oh man, I got that from Millhouse." They're gonna be like, "Oh, thanks, thank you." So that's
integrity, bro. It's beyond DJing. It's integrity, bro.
Yeah,
you got to have some kind of shame at a certain point. You got to have a code. Like that's at the end of the day. Like if MoMA, who's a legend, right? I did a transition at a party that he booked me for. It was like Moon Rods or something. And it was so cold, he was like, I'm going to steal that.
That's different.
Right. But there's some kind of like, there's morality there. There's props there.
There's props.
You know what I mean? So it's different when you just like.
It's different.
And then I see you at the next gig and like you did that shit. I'm like,
right.
Mama, why you know what I mean? Like it's different.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the thing about a DJ. Like I don't,
but that's different. Like if I'm cool with you and I take a picture of what you just played, I'm like, yo, I need that. That's different.
Yeah.
But if I'm
acknowledgement.
But see, like I'm also the DJ that stands. Like I love going to hear other DJs. I don't like saying hello to them. I like staying by the bar in the darkness, in the darkest corner, and just listening to them. Like
that's when I met you. You were an EP. You were all the way in the back.
In the back. I don't want to be in the booth. I don't want to be there seeing. I just want to be in the. I want to be in the darkness listening.
Yo, that's a fact. You really gotta find you when you're out. Yeah. Like one time I was at LeBain and I just randomly bumped into you, just like chilling, like in the back. Like
I like being in the dirt, like just in the darkness, like a gargoyle, like those like those stone.
You really got to find Crooked when he's out.
Because I want to see the DJ in the element. As soon as they see me, they're gonna act different and they might DJ different.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things. Like I'm not saying I'm like an intimidating person, but I just think they're like. I've had so many DJs be like, yo, they fuck up and they're like, you're going to say that on the podcast, right? And I'm like, no, of course not. But I don't want to fuck up someone's set, but I also want to see them in the element when they're having fun or when they're feeling themselves, talking their shit on the mic. And if I'm in the room, they might think
change.
like, yo.
It may change.
Yeah, like if I see Goldie walking and I'm DJing, I'm changing up. I'm not like yelling in the mic like with my normal confidence. I'm gonna look around. This motherfucker's gonna be looking like, yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. But tell me this: do you guys, DJs? Most DJs are like socially awkward. How is it you guys are able to navigate so well through social media, and you're all like kind of like personalities?
Getting over the imposter syndrome.
Now, what do you mean by that?
The feeling that you don't belong. So it's like at first you're like all this stuff is happening to you and like all this stuff it's happening so fast and you're like you don't realize how fast it's happening and you're everybody else is on the outside looking in and they see everything, but then you're like, do I like really belong in these rooms? Do I like deserve these opportunities? So it's something you have to get comfortable with it, and then you realize like you being a person is what separates what separates us from each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we all have different personalities. And, like people gravitate towards my personality. Like you were just saying, like the smile and like just me being me.
Right.
So it's like once you get comfortable being like yourself and get over the imposter syndrome, like your personality separates you from other DJs, and you have to kind of like tap into your personality because that's who you are. That's how you came up. That's the music you were brought up on. The music you learned. And just everything, like your etiquette, that DJ etiquette, like how you treat people and stuff like that. So I think it's a big thing.
And with social media, it's got to be kind of rough navigating that terrain nowadays because people know you, but they feel like they know you.
They think they know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they know me.
Y'all been through that?
Yeah. So I'm an only child, so I've always kind of been more community oriented, just with like school, DJing was like the best decision I've made because this is like a community in itself. So I think like moving with like wanting to maintain connections and build connections with people also like, it speaks volumes, but I agree. People definitely see you, and because they see you so often that they think that they know you, so you have to have discernment. I'll never make anybody feel bad or anything like that because people remember that. Yeah, it's like a balancing act because I know like there might not be so much substance here. We're having a conversation in the club, but still like you want to make sure that you, like you said, like you speak for your personality.
Earlier, like Showcase was saying something happened to you. Like,
oh yeah, just with like sometimes it's harder as a woman DJ in the booths, like stepping up and showing that presence.
How so? What do you mean?
Like a DJ, we're saying like if a DJ's cooking, yes, you can play over, you can, get whatever off, finish strong. But sometimes I'll have to like nudge a DJ and be like, hey, you ready? Or I'm ready. I'm all plugged up. I'm good to go. And kind of have to like press the issue because they're not really, they're in that like, this is my set. This is what's going on. That individualistic mindset during the set. Yeah, so sometimes I do have to like step up and just be a little more present than like I normally would if I'm in the booth with them, and it's like more of a rapport built. Everybody's helping each other out,
right.
Instead of it being like you're stiff and I feel like I gotta like pry just to get I'm here for the same reason that they are.
But that's out of character for you in your opinion or not?
I feel like I'm a little more soft spoken. I feel like in those moments, but DJing is the thing that makes me like because you have to, like you have to,
yeah.
I can't like hide and expect someone to be like, okay, are you ready? Like hold my hand. And sometimes it's like, all right, like, let's go.
There's just so much ego in DJing, right? It's just like, it's very rare to like be around like your peers and have there be like no ego. And you guys, and like we were just talking earlier, the fact that like DJs listen to this podcast and it's like, we're just talking and conversing, but it's like, I feel like, they're like, oh, I want to be on the podcast. Like, I want to be part of that conversation. I'm like, do you want to be a part of the podcast? Or you want to be on the podcast? Or do you just want to be in a group with a group of DJs talking shit with no ego? Because I feel like that's very rare nowadays. Like, there is no group of DJs just hanging out. Like, everyone's solo,
going
right?
on the days of the record stores and where you can have those opinions and workshop and just kick the shit.
Like, talk about music for like 2-3 hours. Like I can't even imagine like Beat Street, like just like working in the record shop, and just like 6 motherfuckers talking shit about the new records, the new J that just dropped, or like it's not as good as the second or third album. Or
moments, man, for real. You guys seem like your era seem like you have a lot more of a community comrade type of situation where you're willing to help bring each other up. In a lot of different ways. Like I said, you could, it seems like DJs now, they're wearing a lot more hats.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're a little bit more community, like, a little bit more collaborative.
And I think it's going beyond borders too. Like being in Africa, being in Ghana, I did Ghana and South Africa, and I'm seeing folks that are booking all of us, right? Like, let's say like a Jerk or Jollof party or like a South House party, sold out dates. We were all over there in another continent, all going to each other's events.
Dope.
And have tables at each other's events. We got the homies in Atlanta, Milk and Cookies, they did Kitchenada's first show in SA. We all had a table. PVO, sold out dates, Jerk and Jollof. We all had tables
in support
at that Kitchenada show. So it's like, me, I'm like, wow, this is. I was sitting there, right, like the whole entire trip. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like we're really out here supporting each other like this. Like, yeah, this is a renaissance. We're gonna go crazy in 2025.
I'm the emotional guy that's like in everybody's ear, like, yo, man, we really changing the fucking game. Like,
yeah, no, that's how we talking to each other out there. We're like, nah, this is crazy.
Like it doesn't. Yeah, man, you can't let moments like this pass you by, man. We really transcended like party culture, nightlife culture with the things that we're doing, and like not to like events like Everyday People, and like now it's like a whole wave, bro. We're seeing the world through this work, and just stuff that we're doing, just like as DJs, you know what I mean? Like you're saying, we're wearing many hats of like there's like a photo. I think this guy Elijah is from the UK who put who wrote DJ and then put arrows, like 1 million arrows around it, and it was like so many different titles like around it, like
wow.
Like I don't know, like journalist or engineer, artist.
Yeah, put
blah,
that
blah,
up. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But it was like, damn, like you really. Sometimes you're just like going. You got to put things into context. It's like the amount of work that we're doing just to be successful in this industry. And yeah, man, the community shit matters. So like, it took time though, because as a DJ, you're spending a lot of time trying to find yourself, right, and tell yourself that I am him, I am her, and like along that way, sometimes you don't make the time to, hit Millhouse on a Monday.
Cultivate those type of,
Yeah, just like, yo, how you been, man? Like, how was your new year? And how's like, I remember when we were at the bar, you spoke about like your family, like how's that going? Or did you finish that project? Or now I could be like, yo, Fly, check out this new edit I made. Or just, just cultivating it that way. I feel like we miss out on a lot of that.
I appreciate all y'all for coming through. It really was a pleasure, like having you. Millhouse, Ken Dollars, Fly Jerian Showcase. I'm like, my main thing this year, and Goldie, we got to roll to like each one of their events.
Oh no, I'm there. I'm there. What parties are you guys doing now? Let the people know when they can expect you, or whatever. If you got big events, and give me your tags and all that other good stuff, where they can find you.
I mean, well, I'll start. Well, tonight you can catch me at LeBain. Dance. Nice. Shout out to Moma and Ellie Escobar. 10 years running strong. Wednesday party in the city.
Yeah. Big time.
Big things. But other than that, this summer I'll be rolling with the crew. EP. Shout out to EP. Shout out to everybody over there. Be traveling around again this year.
Everyday People, right?
Yes, sir.
What cities you mostly hitting up? Like Chicago?
I've been in Chicago, London, LA, DC.
Chicago. Did you get up on your juke?
Oh no, we left that to the Chicago folks.
Yeah, were you like?
I took some notes, you know.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different, that's a whole different vibe, a whole different. It's interesting traveling in different cities and hearing like what they play and stuff like that. So shout out to the whole Everyday People team, you know.
Yeah. Ken Dollars.
So Galafest, Samples and Friends going on this year. Samples and Friends, we got the summer going crazy.
Nice.
I'm going to Sample Friends. I'm going to that.
I better see
February 8th, right?
Yes.
See, I already got it.
Yeah,
I'm going.
I'll be there too.
If I'm in town,
I'll be there too.
Yeah. June
21st for your guys.
Yeah.
So that's Juneteenth. I'm definitely going to be there for that.
In June.
That shit was a vibe last year, bro.
You got April 5th, official Bows and Bottles and Suede collab.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to the bros.
Sheesh.
Moochie and Supply. So we'll be doing that at Musica.
Nice.
800, 900 strong. It's going to be crazy.
Nice.
So have vinyl. Have,
I was just about to ask if you
was
on vinyl.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
I saw you on vinyl the other day.
Yeah, Moochie be getting me right. So I've been...
Y'all been doing vinyl sets too?
Yeah. I did one at Record Room. It was dope. It was cool.
By the time they hear this, it's going to be a couple sets in, yeah.
Also, I'm Team Hennessy New York, so we have a crazy festival run coming up again. So check me out, the Hennessy High Line at like Broccoli City, One Music Fest in Atlanta,
nice.
Afro Nation in Detroit. We got Lollapalooza in Chicago,
nice.
Dreamville Festival.
That's
crazy. That's the last Dreamville one too, right?
Yeah,
the
last one.
The last one.
Are you gonna go?
Oh,
he'll be there for sure.
I've been to every one.
You've been to every
He
one?
DJ'd at the Hennessy High Line.
Yeah,
at the last one. Yeah,
shout out to Hennessy for that. Yeah.
I might have to ask Boss and Mo for some tickets.
Might.
You want to go Dreamville?
Yeah, we might have to do a little.
We don't have to go there.
On the go.
Change that might.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Let's do it.
And
then wait. So with Hennessy, you're an ambassador.
Yes.
You got that Hennessy black card.
I do have a.
Nice. I know the Hennessy ambassadors.
I do sponsor parties from and just events.
Yeah.
So I'm one of 12.
Oh, you must got a lot of friends now. Like
the conversations are
A little drunker.
The conversations are different.
You got a lot of friends.
The conversations are very interesting, but it's been a blessing to me to be able to integrate and, kind of like do something hand in hand with what I do. Like being a DJ, doing events, being able to like inject the brand into what I do and vice versa. So yeah, we pretty much, increase, consumer engagement and really do the damn thing. Try to step flaws. You know what I mean? We got a bunch of DJs. Shabazz in the Bay.
A Boogie
Fridays DJ. Shout out to Philly. We're all Team Hennessy. So.
If you out and about and you see sparklers and a bunch of Hennessy bottles, being carried by waitresses to a table, you might see Flygerian there.
You might just see.
That's why everyone knows. I'm rolling with you, Fly. I know I'm gonna be able to drink some Hennessy.
You might see You might see me, man.
Got the Hennessy black card. I'll be there. Oh shit!
So it's been cool.
Show, where you at?
Culture Cave is coming back in 2025.
Nice.
Sold out dates. First ever world tour this year. So we touching Europe, touching Africa, touching the UK, all across the country. So be on the lookout for that.
Are you still doing that thing with Serato when you were doing like the workshops? Like I went out to Jersey.
Yes, behind the booth.
Behind the booth, yeah, right. It's pretty dope.
Yeah,
behind the booth.
Behind the booth.
Explain that a little bit.
So behind the booth started as a workshop and panel conversation for DJs, people who want to get into the industry and just creatives in general. This year we're going to pivot to more of a conversational piece for the events. And direct people to platforms like Bunker, like Sound Collective, to actually do the work and learn how to DJ.
Good shit.
And we launched our Instagram account, which is going to feature like a lot of historical posts about clubs and DJs and producers. We're going to do like street interviews. So, if you ever seen like People Gallery, things like that, we're going to be doing interviews like that, asking DJs questions, unfiltered.
I met a lot of cool DJs at this event, the Behind the Booth camp.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah.
So I gotta go one day. I gotta go.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
So
you should speak or like.
No, I was just there. I've met a lot of DJs.
Yeah, yeah, and then Serato's been a huge like support for us. We sell records there.
Yeah.
Rock and Soul is also a vendor. They've like sold DJ equipment there.
Nice.
So when we tell you what to get, you can just walk right out and get it. But yeah, Behind the Booth. And then Ballads and Bottles, like we said. It's a seasonal thing, but, we gonna run that strong.
Special for the summer.
Exactly.
Nice.
Of course, Fly got Jaye, too.
I was just about to say, Jaye's coming back. Afrobeats Affair, Afrobeats and Beyond. So we'll be back at Silo. So
these are the leaders of the new school, yo.
That's the leaders of the new school.
Type shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Showcase, Flygerian, Kendala's, Millhouse. It's an honor to have y'all here.
Thank you to be here.
Thank you.
I'm very inspired by what y'all are doing.
Very much so.
And y'all are really good people on top of being exceptional DJs.
Very
talented.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And me and Goldie, we always look forward to seeing what y'all doing next. So salute. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.